You're listening to Sports Justice.
Toward the net. Deflection. What a save! Save by Lundqvist!
Serving you your sporting news 3 times a week.
And he drives one to center field. Back goes Upton looking up at the wall. It's out of here!
Only on Cyber FM Radio.
With the 18th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Calvin Pryor.
Not online radio, but radio online.
Cowboys drilled deep to left field. Going back choice. Looking up. See ya. 3,000. History with an exclamation point.
In the hands of Anthony. Anthony for 3. Puts it in. Knicks by 1 with 8.2 remaining.
Now, here are your hosts.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Welcome to Sports Justice Live here on Cyber FM Radio, not online radio, but radio online on this early Saturday morning edition. Well, not really early, but it's
11 in the morning.
It's a little different than usual because there's actually football on Saturday, which, there always is college football on.
It's a unique Saturday.
It's a different Saturday. As Billy was telling us earlier, it happens once every season, once or twice. Is it 17 too? Just 16? So it happens once every season, which we were unaware of until this morning. So it's a rare occasion where you get to enjoy football on a Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So,
well, we didn't enjoy football on a Thursday.
No one ever enjoys Thursday football. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. First, I'm Sean Snyder.
I'm Billy Papamanuel.
And I'm Paul Bonanno.
All right, and there's a new team in title contention in the West. We're going to get into that very shortly. There's another team in the West that's starting to heat up. They're getting right around that 500 mark again. We're going to talk about where we see them finishing. The Spurs gone to triple overtime, 2 games in a row now. You never see that happen. We're going to talk a little bit about their last 2 performances. Melo might be done for the season. He might just shut it down. We're going to talk about what's best for the Knicks to do moving forward. Then we're going to get into a little bit of baseball talk. We had a great interview the other day before we went to Steiner. We're going to play that for you. And we're going to get into our picks for Sunday. We got a ton of stuff we're going to talk about. But we're going to start off, as we said, there's a new team in the West that everyone's considering maybe the favorite to win a championship out of the West next to the Spurs. And that's the Mavericks picking up Rajon Rondo in the trade with Boston.
Yeah, I really like this trade for them. And really, you can see a Mark Cuban really putting his fingerprints on everything, where they just won the championship a couple of years ago, and as soon as they won the championship, they kind of just cleaned house. They got rid of everybody, and 2 or 3 years later, a lot of people go through the draft and they have to rebuild and everything. He went through a trade, and 2 or 3 years later, this team could be another contender. They got a starting lineup of who? Rondo?
Monte Ellis, Chandler Parsons, Dirk, and Tyson Chandler. So,
winning starting 5.
You bring back Chandler. I'm not sure if they traded for Ellis or signed him in free agency.
Actually, I don't know what they did.
They signed Parsons in free agency, and now they trade for Rajon Rondo. Not to mention they still have guys like Vince Carter, a knockdown 3-ball shooter coming off the bench. And, this team is just...
Vince Carter's on the Grizzlies.
Vince Carter's on the Grizzlies, huh?
Correct. Yes,
I am mistaken. I am mistaken. I did not know he moved.
Yeah, he's been on the Grizzlies all year. He's been playing very well for them also.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So who do they have on their bench then? Who comes off the bench for them?
They got J.J. Barea, Devin Harris, Dwight Powell, Charlie Villanueva's on this team, Al-Farouq Amino. So it's not that good of a bench, we'll say. Raymond Felton's still there, but he's been hurt the whole season pretty much.
Raymond Felton's nothing special.
Yeah, they have Devin Harris and those guys. But, no, it's the starting lineup that really is key for them. They have one of the top starting lineups. Richard Jefferson's sitting on the bench also.
Hey,
so they got a little bit of veteran leadership. Prime. Of course he is. Meanwhile, you're talking about Vince Carter, though. He's past his also.
Yeah, but he's still knocking down threes left and right.
Yeah, so the trade is run to the Mavericks for Brandon Wright, Jameer Nelson, Jay Crowder, and 2 draft picks.
Your boy.
Brandon Wright, yeah, he's been playing well. But the question is, did the Celtics get enough, you think?
I don't think so. What were the draft picks? Do we know?
I think it's a first round and a future second round.
Damn.
But the Mavericks are going to finish in one of the top teams.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would say the Celtics got enough. What did the Celtics really get? Maybe some cap release with expiring contracts?
Yeah, it's just that a few
years
years ago,
important, but
what was that?
That's still important. Having
it is
cap
important.
Space and a draft pick.
It just seems that, a few years ago, a lot of people were offering a lot more than this, and they didn't really pull the trigger. They kept saying that we're keeping them, and now it looks like the Celtics aren't going to be anything close to good this year.
A few years ago, they could have got 2 first-round picks and maybe a solid, 6th man or something.
Something like that, and now, it's the end of a reign in Boston also. KG's gone, Pierce is gone, Ray Allen's been gone.
Big 3.
And now finally Rondo, the last piece of that championship team, gone. KG actually said he was happy for him also. He said, it's the end of a regime there. I hope he has fun in Dallas.
Yeah, well, KG's always a nice guy. He always backed up his teammates and his former.
He didn't like Ray Allen when he went to the Heat. He didn't like that part.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even give him a high five before the game.
Oh, what are you gonna do? That's KG being KG.
Yeah, you can't really get inside the mind of.
He's a very unpredictable guy. Him and Mike Tyson belong on their own little planet together.
They're competitors, though.
Yeah, they really are two of the biggest competitors. So, what do you think of this Dallas team moving forward? You think they have a chance to make it to the title game?
I think they're going to be in contention. Golden State's the number one team, I think, right now over there. And let me see. I'm looking up. Golden State's 22-3. You still got Memphis there with Mike Conley. But that's the crazy part now with this Western Conference.
It's so good.
Well, listen to these point guards. Ready? Golden State, Steph Curry. Memphis, Mike Conley. Very underrated. Portland, Damian Lillard. Then you got Dallas now with Rajon Rondo. The Clippers have Chris Paul. San Antonio has Tony Parker. Oklahoma City has Russell Westbrook. All the best point guards in the entire league are in the Western Conference,
The
pretty
West
much.
is so deep, it's ridiculous.
I guess you got John Wall and Derrick Rose, as Billy would probably say.
All right, that's two.
And Kyrie
in the
Irving.
East, yeah, and
All
Kyrie.
right, so you have three.
That's about it. But everybody else, yeah. It's in the Western Conference, but that makes up for a load. And right now, OKC, we'll get into them, but they're in the 9 spot. They're not even in the playoffs right now. They're hot, but with Dallas, they're in the 5 spot right now, 19-8.
And they only got better.
I think they got to be in the top 3, maybe top 4 at the end of the year.
The thing is, it's so tough to put them in the top 4 because every team in the West is so good. I mean, the Grizzlies have looked unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you're going to get out of the Spurs. I mean, they basically hold that
And the
1
Spurs are
seed.
in the 7th seed right now.
And the Spurs are a team who've basically held down that 1 seed for the past decade.
Right.
And then, I mean, you have a team like Golden State who's extremely hot, and they've been playing really well. You never know what OKC is going to do once they get all healed up and everyone's back and stuff, because I know Durant sat out last night because...
Yeah.
And
a
you
little
know
bit
there'll
of a
be
scare.
more trades too for other teams to get maybe even another step above
That's
them.
true also.
So you really have to see. And then what you were pointing out before is they're not really that deep of a team. They have a really great starting lineup, but when it comes down to the depth and the scoring off the bench, you don't know where you're going to get it from, which is a problem they have out there in Portland with the Blazers. So I think you really have to see how long it takes for the core 5 here to really get on the same page with each other. But I do think that they'll be in contention for one of the top seeds. I could see them finishing just outside the top 3, though, depending on if Golden State stays hot, Marc Gasol stays healthy, and what goes on with the
Portland,
Spurs.
yeah, and San Antonio. And the crazy part is Rondo's averaging 11 assists per game, passing it to who?
Jared Sullinger?
Sullinger, Kelly Olynyk, Jeff
Yeah,
Green.
if they let him do his thing, there's no problem, no reason why this team can't gel.
He can honestly,
quickly.
he can average 25 assists a game with this team.
I don't know about 25.
If he just says, I'm not going to score, I'm just going to dish.
15
no.
then. I'll go with 15 assists per game. 25 is a lot. I don't know if you...
That's a lot of passing.
For a team to hit 25 field goals, that's a lot of
Yeah.
all of assists.
It's true. And the other thing is now, have you seen his free throw percentage this year, by the way?
Nope.
33%. 33% from the free throw
For
line.
a point guard, that's disgusting.
Yeah, we know he's not a shooter, but the fact that he still averages a triple-double anyway. I mean, not averages, but, he gets a lot of triple-doubles. Double-double, but he gets a lot of triple-doubles also for a guy that doesn't even score very much. He doesn't really do all that much. I mean, he gets a ton of rebounds, though, with a ton of assists, though.
And
I
he
think he'll
steals
be
the
more
ball up
efficient
front.
in a better
Yeah,
offense.
definitely, because he can be passing the ball to Dirk. Chandler Parsons is always out there. Monte Ellis, that was a great deal they got.
And then when you have Dirk and Chandler on the blocks, and then you can just kind of walk right in.
yeah,
And the other good thing about this firm is these are all guys who love to shoot the ball. He doesn't have to shoot the ball.
no, he loves to dish it, and he plays
just
great
dish
defense.
it. Exactly. He can just dish it, or he can lay it up if he has the lane now. He doesn't have to worry about those mid-range or the three-point jump shots.
I think it's a good deal for Dallas. They didn't really give up all that much. They gave up who? Jameer Nelson and Brandon Wright, Jake Crowder.
I think the only thing they gave up realistically was a first-round pick.
Yeah, it's draft picks, and that's it. And it doesn't matter with them because Rondo's better than a draft pick, I think.
Exactly. Anyone they're going to get in their pick, they're going to be somewhere in the 20s.
And they have an
with their
owner who
pick,
doesn't
so.
care going into the luxury tax. If they have to, they'll go into free agency.
That Shark Tank helps him out every year. He's going to get plenty of money on the side. But Rondo, the Mavericks have said they're very confident that they're going to re-sign him in the offseason also.
Well, if I'm him, I wouldn't want to go anywhere else. I mean,
Yeah.
look at the starting lineup you're a part of.
Yeah, I agree. Why would you want to go anywhere else? Especially if he makes a pretty nice contract here. And it says he's going to make his debut, I believe, today.
Oh, look at
Against
that.
the Spurs. That's right.
Even
TNT?
more of a reason for someone at work to take my shift so I have something to watch.
Yeah, and the other thing is, we said he's not that good of a scorer. With this team, it's going to be more openings around him because people have to double Dirk, they have to double Monte, Chandler Parsons you got to cover. So there's a lot of guys that they're going to have to maybe stay off of Rondo a little bit, and hopefully he has that improved shot going on. Maybe he'll be able to continue it and get more open looks.
Take it to the next level.
Yeah, so his numbers are definitely going to go up. Even his 11 assists are going to go up.
100%.
So, I mean, it's looking good, pretty good so far
It's
for
looking
them.
very good. You want to jump from one West team to the next?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go
Oklahoma
another
City.
point guard, too.
Oklahoma City. Russell, the return of Westbrook.
Who Westbrook's been going nuts lately.
Lighting it up.
And the other thing is, you said Kevin Durant before, they had a little scare the other day. He rolled his ankle and left the game, and it's the same foot that he's had problems with. He had surgery on, so they got scared where they saw him roll his ankle. They didn't know if it was a rolled ankle or if he maybe re-injured that foot. I think they said, like, with that foot injury, it's like 25% who get that surgery get a re-injury of that foot.
That's never fun.
No, that's not good news either. That's not what you want to hear.
No, that's not what you want to hear
OKC.
about your superstar player. Luckily, you have another star right behind him to pick up some slack.
Yeah, Westbrook's been unbelievable right now, and even though he's played, I think, like 12 games so far, he's already in the MVP conversation. Last night, again, he had 31 points, 5 rebounds, 10 assists, and a steal.
Well, if it wasn't for him, God only knows where this team would be right
I know.
now.
This team was really bad before him, and now that they have him, they're right outside, and they've won, I think, 8 of the last 10, including last night. And they went from being in the bottom 5 to right outside the playoff run.
So they're right there. They're right, and that just speaks volumes about what this team was able to do while Westbrook and while Durant have been out. I mean, they were able to hang on just enough so when they get their guys back, it pulls them right back into contention.
Yeah, and through the last few games, he's getting 33 points, 32 points, 32 points. He hasn't been playing that much. 28 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals the other day. He's been going nuts, and it's for all the people that we're all the people that used to say this guy isn't that good of a player. He's not a superstar because he has Kevin Durant. If Kevin Durant's on the team, we're seeing what he can do now. If he's the guy that gets all the shots instead of passing it up a lot of times to KD, who, he won the MVP last year, Kevin Durant. So it's not like he's taking away too many shots from Kevin Durant.
No.
But the way he's going, I saw a stat that said in his points per 100 possessions, he's at like 46. And the next closest is Steph Curry, who's the favorite for MVP right now at 34.
You got another guy who's lighting it up this year.
Yeah, and Westbrook's coming off. He's showing no signs of that knee surgery that he's had. 2 knee surgeries.
His jumps are looking good.
Everything he's done has looked good, and you can just tell.
Did he do something to his hand also?
He always wears the tape,
bit,
I think. I think it's just maybe a jam
I think
finger
that was
or
last
something.
season. He missed some games for some hand injury, right?
Possibly. It was the knee injury. I think he had maybe something with his hand also. But, yeah, he's been just going off because he doesn't really have anybody that can limit him with Oklahoma City. There's nobody that's crazy on this team. Perry Jones is playing. Who else? It's Serge Ibaka actually is playing really well. You see he's shooting close to 40% from 3 this year.
Yeah, he's actually, who would have thought that Serge Ibaka would be able to shoot that type of number from 3-point? I mean, I remember when he first came into the league, he didn't even try to take a mid-range jump
Yeah, and
shot.
then he slowly expanded his range.
It shows how he's been working, though. Hard work pays off.
Yeah, it definitely helps them, too, because once Kevin Durant actually comes back fully healthy, if you have Serge Ibaka who can now hit threes,
The open looks he's going to get.
yeah, it just helps everything out here. Now, do you think that Oklahoma City, they got to be a top 3-4 contention by the end of the year if Kevin Durant's healthy and Westbrook's healthy, right?
I mean, I think you can make a point that almost any team in the West is a top 3 or 4
That's probably
team.
true.
I mean, it's really, honestly, it's really tough to pick them. I see Oklahoma City falling just short of the top 3 or 4, though. I have them at like 4 or 5.
Can you imagine if they get like a 7 or 8 seed, how scary it is for the 1 or 2 seed to face Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook
man.
in the first round?
They are 2 games under 500, and like you said, they're just outside of it. I
One
mean,
game under 500 now, 13 and 14.
I could see them ending up in like a 5 or a 6 seed. Potentially.
It could be, and if that's the case, then they're facing, a 2 or a 3 seed? Well, 3 or 4.
It would be just like the Grizzlies last year, coming in as a lower seed. They didn't have Gasol healthy, and they had injury trouble during the season, but then they came into the playoffs, and they took down one of the...
Yeah, it's crazy how much better this Western Conference is. Right now, Boston stinks, and they're in the 8 seed right now in the Eastern Conference.
Oh, yeah, Boston's miserable, and they're only going to get worse now.
It's really bad. I don't even
Jameer
understand.
Nelson's their new
It's
starting
been that
point
way
guard.
for years,
Yeah,
too.
I know. It's crazy, though. 10 and 14, and they're in the 8 seed right now, where the 8 seed is New Orleans at 13 and 12, and it's probably going to be OKC coming up. I feel bad for New Orleans because I don't think they're going to make the playoffs because of all these other teams are just really good. Golden State, Memphis, Portland, Houston, Dallas, Clippers, San Antonio.
Let me tell you, though, if the Pelicans manage to slip their way in, Anthony Davis is probably going to win the MVP.
I don't know about win it, but he'll be up there because right now Steph Curry's been going crazy. Russell Westbrook's up there. There's a lot of good guys, and
I think it's going to take more than making the playoffs for Anthony Davis to win.
they got to be like a
MVP.
top 3 seed maybe in the Western Conference to get
Yeah, but
there.
Anthony Davis is completely tearing it up.
I mean, do we still
So
forget?
is Curry.
Yeah, but I would say Anthony Davis is the best player in the league right now.
No, Steph Curry's the best player in the league right now, I'd say.
Yeah.
Steph Curry and Westbrook right now is probably up there. And, I mean, we are forgetting about LeBron.
The other night, Anthony Davis had like 30 points, 15 rebounds, 5 blocks.
I'm not
and 3
saying he's
steals.
not very
LeBron
good.
could do that on any given night.
And he has been for the last few games. But you want to move over to now the old team, the reigning champions, the Spurs, in back-to-back triple overtime games.
Who would have thought Lillard went off last night?
Yeah, well, I was going to say Damian Lillard's probably up there for MVP, too. He's also one of the best in clutch situations we have in the league.
What about Jimmy Buckets?
Oh, your boy Jimmy Butler's been playing very well. He's like, what, back-to-back 30-point games, I think.
Yeah.
All of a
He
sudden.
had 31 and 10, I think, last night.
I hate him.
He had 30 points
He's
in
good.
the
He is good. I just
by
don't
the
like
third quarter.
He's probably most improved, I'd say.
Yeah, I would 100%
Definitely,
agree
yeah.
with that.
But going back to the Spurs now, do you think this has a little bit of a toll? They're paying a little bit of a toll here with Parker's been out. Kawhi Leonard didn't play also last night. And they had Ginobili and Duncan both play like 48 minutes, like a full game's worth.
You never see that.
Especially back-to-back triple overtime games. In the second game, they play 48 minutes.
Yeah, I think you'll see them closer to the 30 area.
I doubt that
around
they even
29.
play today. I wouldn't even say on a back-to-back game
I don't think
of a
they're
triple
gonna
overtime.
play.
I don't think they're playing. They're going to
They're
get
going to be
the
dressed in suits on the sideline.
their knee hurts or
The old
something like that.
Popovich?
Yeah, the old Popovich did not play routine here. Because right now the Spurs are surprisingly they're in the 7 seed, 17 and 10. I mean, it's not like they have a bad record, but the
No.
Western Conference, they're the 7 seed. If they're anywhere in the playoff run, teams are scared to play them. It's just that home court advantage I think helps them out a lot also.
Yeah, I would agree with the home
We
court
saw that in the
advantage,
championship
but
last year.
Let me tell you, if they have home court advantage or not, if I'm a 1 seed and I'm facing them in the first round, or I'm a 2-3 seed and I'm facing them in the
Especially
first
when
round,
the
I
air
want nothing to
conditioning
do
doesn't
with
work.
it.
Yeah, when the air conditioning working, it's 130 degrees in the arena. It's definitely not as fun. But I'm seeing, I mean, a lot of these teams are going to fall back also. Golden State's not going to say 22 and 3. They're going to fall back a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And they just lost their game the other day against, was it Memphis?
Yes. Bogut didn't play.
Yeah,
Right.
that broke the streak. That was the Grizzlies.
Yeah, and the Grizzlies are actually on a streak of their own, I think.
Like
Actually,
16 or 17.
They just lost.
Yeah.
They lost to the Bulls last night,
No,
but
they were on 16 or 17 going in.
they won 7 out of the last 10.
right, which is pretty good still. And they were on a nice little streak, and especially beating Golden State's a nice win. In Golden State, I believe, also.
For tonight, they're
No,
playing?
no,
on that.
against Memphis. Golden State, Memphis.
I'm not sure where that game
All
was.
right.
You
Well,
might be
either
right.
way, right now with San Antonio, do you think it's a little bit of a, I don't know, would you say that they're still going to be a top 4 seed at the end of the year is what I mean?
You know, you've asked me this 3 teams in a row here,
I
and
know.
I'm going to say the same thing I've said. It's tough. I have no idea. Honestly, I have no idea what's going to go on with this West. Anyone could. It's.
Well, you got to say Golden State's going to fall back a little. I don't think they're going to be the number 1 seed.
I'm saying I had Golden State at 3 in the preseason thing.
Right,
Or,
they're
no,
gonna
I
be
had them
around
at
there.
2. So I think I'll keep them in that 2 to 3 range.
Okay, because then we got Memphis. Portland's going to fall back to the 4 or 5. I think Dallas is going to move up to the 3 or 4. And we got the Clippers at the 6 seed right now. They're going to probably move up. Who knows?
I think
It could
Houston
go anywhere.
may fall down.
Yeah, I would say they're going to fall down
I
a
had
little bit.
Houston not making
Portland-
the playoffs. I didn't know what to do.
That's another MVP, by the way, is James Harden.
He's been
He's going
spectacular.
crazy. Every shot he takes goes in. It's nuts.
I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, I forgot about the James Harden thing, too. Have you guys seen this, by the way? We're watching TV. I just heard about this on the radio before.
No, what
They're
is
showing
this?
Vince Carter with Memphis. One of their interns at Memphis got his car stolen.
Mm-hmm.
And the Memphis players came in and chipped in to buy him a brand new car.
Good for him.
For the holiday spirits, that's what happened. That's what they did for Christmas.
Good for him.
It looked like a nice car, too.
Yeah, and I think it was like Vince Carter was the head of it, but he got all the players on the Grizzlies together to go to their intern and get a nice brand new car for him.
Some great guys there in Memphis.
Yeah, and all
Phenomenal.
right. So to finish off the NBA, do you want to take a break? Come back with Melo.
Yeah, we'll step aside real quick and we'll talk about some big news out of the Big Apple when we get back on Sports Justice. Hey there, everyone. It's Sean from Sports Justice. Me and the guys just wanted to take the time out to wish you guys a happy and healthy holiday season.
Hey guys, this is Paul from Sports Justice. From the entire Sports Justice crew, we'd like to send our warmest wishes to you and your family and wish you a happy and healthy holiday season.
The Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. Mistletoe hung where you can see every couple tries to stop. Rocking around the Christmas tree.
Are you tired of hearing the same old voices on Sports Talk Radio?
We are receiving these returns through the cooperation and by special arrangements with the Pittsburgh Post and Sun.
It's time to try something new. Tune in to Sports Justice live on Cyber FM Radio.
Geno Smith is the worst quarterback in the National Football League, and the statistics prove it. Give me Tim Tebow. Well, maybe not really.
We also provide you with your up-to-the-minute updates in the world of sports.
Cleveland rejoice. The king is coming home.
Be sure to check us out on our social media, our Facebook, Sports Justice, our Instagram, Sports Justice, our Twitter, @sports_justice, and our website, sports.justiceradio.com.
Also, be sure to get your dose of Sports Justice 3 times a week. Mondays at 10 a.m., Wednesdays at 5 p.m., and Saturdays at 11 a.m. Also, feel free to give us a call at 516-858-5837.
Sing it, we will rock you. We will rock you.
Welcome back to Sports Justice live on Cyber FM Radio, not online radio, but radio online. Give us a call, 516-858-5837. 516-858-5837. As Paul would say, get on the horn. We called a quick audible during the break there. We're going to get to Melo in a minute and the big news in the Big Apple. But first, we're going to stick in the West, talk a little bit about the struggles of Kobe Bryant as of late. A guy started off the season red hot, and it's starting to show that he's really the only guy on this team and all the pressure's on him.
Yeah, and you saw last night against OKC, he went 3 of 15, and he even said he didn't have his legs tonight. And that's because he's been playing every single game, and they pretty much don't do anything but give him the ball and make him shoot it.
ISO all day.
It's really bad. And he finished with 9 points, 8 assists, and 8 rebounds.
And, it's a shame that they really relied on him so heavily last night because Ed Davis was having a phenomenal game on the offensive glass. He had 6 putbacks in the last couple minutes of the game. Jeremy Lin was looking really well on his driving kick or driving layup. Even his mid-range game was looking well. And Ellington was hitting 3-point shots. He was being aggressive. I mean, they put Kobe Bryant back in with maybe 3 or 4 minutes left in the game last night. And at that point, they were still going back and forth with them and making it 1 point for them, 1 point, back and forth. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you could arguably have said that they were doing fine without Kobe. They didn't need to take players out and screw up the momentum they had going to put him back in the game. And, he hit a couple of shots there, maybe 1 shot, 2 shots or something like that.
And Ronnie Price was their guy in the first half.
Yeah. He was one of something when he came back into the game, and he hit 2 shots, and then he missed the game winner.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you could have honestly said that if they left Kobe on the bench, they might have been in the same position they were in anyway.
And I'm looking at a bunch of stats here. Entering Friday, Kobe Bryant has the second most isolation plays in the NBA. Only James Harden has more, and yet he ranks dead last in field goal percentage among players with at least 50 isolation plays, shooting 32%. So he has been getting those ISO plays, but right now it could be because he's been out for a year or two. There's still
There's still rust
coming off, and he's just older right now. But he's taking a lot of these shots, and we're used to seeing him hit them all. And maybe there's just too much on his shoulders. There's literally nothing else that's helping him ease the weight on his shoulders right now. But the crazy part is he had a chance to tie it up again at the end of the game, and he missed it again. And he's missed a ton of go-ahead. I think he's taken more go-ahead field goal attempts in the final 5 seconds of a game, and I think than the rest of his teammates in the last 5 seasons. And actually his teammates are doing better. They're 42%. Kobe's 4 of 20 in the last 5 years on the game-winning shots. 20% and 0 buzzer beaters.
Something you wouldn't expect.
It's not something you would expect, and it's just the fact that I think his legs just aren't there. He's playing a lot, coming off of devastating injuries. First he tore his Achilles, comes back from that and gets, I think it was microfracture on his knee or something, and surgery on his knee again. And then he comes back and he's playing however many minutes, a ton of minutes.
30 minutes a game.
Taking up shots. He's playing all the time. And you're literally going to have to drag his body off the court if you're going to want him to sit. He's not just going to sit like Duncan or Ginobili or any of those guys.
Oh, no.
Because they got guys, they got Danny Green, they got Kawhi Leonard, they got all these guys that can help.
Kobe knows that there's not a chance to win with him on the floor, and without him, it doesn't even come close to having.
Yeah, I mean, it's already surprising enough that he had 9 points, and they lost by 1 against Oklahoma City, where Westbrook went off with 31 and 10. It's just crazy to see how, and I know you always say it's sad to see Kobe like this. I kind of agree. Also, I know Rich gets upset with you.
Rich gets pissed at us when we say this.
I know it's the fact that he's won 5 championships. How do you feel?
He goes,
bad
"Don't
for
feel
the guy?
bad for the guy." What do you mean, don't feel bad for the guy?
He's an all-time great, and he's going through the toughest stretch of his entire career right now.
And
this
not
guy's
to mention all these all-time greats. They're not just all-time great athletes and all-time great basketball players. They're all-time great competitors. These guys don't like to lose. This pisses them off. This irritates them, and this upsets them.
Yeah, and now we're looking at the Lakers who are 8-18, which is pretty pathetic. And we'll go for that for a transition there. 8-18. There's only a few teams worse than that.
And one of them is
the New York Knicks, 5-23. Only Philadelphia has a worse record than the New York Knicks right now.
Can we say Jahlil Okafor coming to New York?
Probably, but I don't know if that's going to change too much for them.
Well, hopefully it'll help getting a big man. Well, he'd probably be like a stretch 4.
I don't know what he'd be. He's 7 foot, so I don't know.
Is he?
Yeah.
I had this talk with, who was it, John the other day. John was kind of comparing him to like when in between or like power forward center type player because he has that mid range jump shot.
He has a little bit of mid-range jump shot, but so does Marcus Gasol, so do a lot of those guys also. I think he's definitely going to be a 5 in the league, especially since there are so little of them.
Oh, yeah.
But the news out of New York is Carmelo Anthony, and that I think people closer and closer to him are saying he should sit out for the rest of the year because of the nagging knee injury he had. His quote is, "I've had multiple people say kind of just shut it down or just take some time off. At the end of the day, it's hard for me to do that right now with what's happening with my team, so I'm just trying to be smart about it." And, with each game, this team is looking worse and worse and worse. It might be smarter for him to just take a rest for a long time at least. Maybe not for the season, but at least a few weeks, a month.
Take a break.
To me, it sounds like he's making an excuse there.
Well, it's not even him. He said multiple people have told him I think he needs to get his knee scoped out, and I think that's been the thing. It's like a report out. And you could tell where the way he's shooting, the way everything is going. Even last year they were terrible, but he was playing really well. So I don't know if it's an excuse more than him there's no need for him to play. I mean, for Knicks fans, it's the only thing worth watching with the Knicks. Why else would you go if not to see Carmelo play? Are you going to see Prigioni and Hardaway hoist jump shots all day long?
Smith untie shoelaces?
Yeah, well, for right now, it looks like Hardaway is going to be the guy moving forward. He actually played pretty well the other day, but he's questionable. He was questionable, I think, yesterday. He's questionable again today. Who knows what he's going to do? It says that he's actually going to play now. The report just came out 5 minutes ago that he's going to play, and he's in the starting lineup. But is it better? Well, I guess we'll see tonight. Or whenever they play. I don't know what time they play.
I think if Melo puts up a miserable performance,
I think they play Utah tonight.
Phoenix.
Phoenix?
Yeah.
So
another game they won't win.
Yeah, probably not. But, there's been talk of him shutting down his knee. Travis Ware has been starting in his place, which...
Out of UCLA.
Loser.
Hey, you didn't like him, I know. I'm sorry he left UNC.
Went to UNC for a year and then just
Speaking
quit.
of UNC, I found something online we got to talk about later. Make sure you remind me.
Okay, if you say so. Anyway, do you think it's best if Melo sits out for at least a few weeks?
100%. Shut him down. Get him taken care of. Get him fixed. You know what? I don't like Melo. I didn't want him to re-sign with the Knicks.
Whoa.
I did not want Melo to re-sign with the Knicks.
Well, too late. You got him for 7 years or whatever it is. I don't know how long it was.
And now we're stuck with him for 7 years, which is why I'm saying let's get him fixed. Let's get him healthy. You got to keep him good for the long run. If you're going to commit to this guy for 7 years, you got to make sure of his future. You can't worry about now, well, this team stinks and is losing.
Yeah. Billy, what about you? What do you think?
I didn't want Melo back either, but I think the more we see of him on the court.
What do you mean you didn't want Melo back? You're a Bulls fan.
I definitely didn't want him to the Bulls.
I was hoping he went to the Bulls.
I really didn't want him on the Bulls.
He said, did you hear how close he was to the Bulls, too?
Yeah.
He said he was pretty much there, and then at the end of the day, he just couldn't leave the Knicks.
But if you're this franchise, you need Melo on the court just for...
fan purposes, for the only chance
for
they have.
Fan purposes, and to see what you have for going forward. Like, who on this roster is staying?
Yeah.
Because you know there's going to be a lot of changes. So is Hardaway staying? Is JR staying? Like, you need to see who can work with Melo, because Melo's the long-term guy.
And actually, the Knicks played the Bulls the other day in a pretty close game. And you look, and the Knicks, they tried really hard in that game. They played really hard. There's just nobody on the team that could do anything.
And Rose sat out, too.
What was that?
Rose sat out that game.
Right. He sits out most games, though, now.
He played like 12 straight.
I know. He's on the court, then he's off the court, then he's on the court, then he's off the court. But the Knicks lost 103-97, but they have, like, Travis Ware out there. It's Hardaway. It's all these guys that, it's like, good for them for trying, but they just have no chance of winning these games.
Them versus Sixers would be a good game at this point.
Probably. The Bulls didn't have Derrick Rose, and they still were able to win this game. And the Knicks tried as hard as they possibly could and played really hard and played really well.
Jimmy Butler's arguably better than anything the Knicks have, to be honest with you.
After this guy just bashed him during the whole break
I
over
hate
here.
him. I don't like him, but he's better than anything we have.
Like Cole Aldridge is playing now for the Knicks. He's getting significant minutes.
Him and his tooth.
And his fake tooth, right. You see again these guys like Prigione's getting significant minutes. Travis Ware's getting significant minutes. Cole Aldridge.
Prigione's like 40 years old, too.
Yeah, and he's still, he's very limited. He just doesn't do very well. He doesn't hurt you very much, but...
He plays defense.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's hard to call it defense.
He kind of passes the ball and can hit an open jump shot if you leave him there.
He passes the ball on wide open layups, too. It's like he's right there, just lay it in, and nope, I'm going to pass it.
Yeah, it's very annoying. But with the Bulls now also... They're looking like one of the top teams, too. They're the 4 seed right now. The surprising thing in the East, I think, is Atlanta, who's 18-7, and just put actually a beatdown on the Cleveland the other day. They won by 30 points. And LeBron and them didn't even play in the fourth quarter because they were getting beat down by so much. I think
it's just that they're hot right now.
I mean, if you look at the East, the whole East is surprising. You know who first is, and you know who the best team in the Eastern Conference is?
Who is it?
The Raptors.
Kyle
At
Lowry,
21-6. Yeah, because Kyle Lowry's been going off this whole year. Number 2, Washington. Maybe not that much of a surprise, but 19-6.
I knew they were going to be top 4.
Yeah.
Who's at 3?
Atlanta. 18-7. The top 4 teams in the East are Toronto, Washington, Atlanta, and Chicago.
Atlanta.
Who saw any of those? I didn't see Toronto at the 1. Washington at the 2, I guess, is the only understandable one. Chicago at 4 also. You'd think Chicago's maybe the 3. They're only a game back at that. Then you got Cleveland in the 5. Milwaukee's in the 6, and they're only going to go down because your boy.
Well, now Jabari's done.
Jabari Parker, who is the favorite for Rookie of the Year, torn ACL, and I know we were talking about this in the group. There's a cursed rookie class going on here. Everybody's hurt.
What is it, like 6 out of the 10 lottery?
Pretty
11
much.
Lottery picks?
Julius Randle's out for the year. Jabari's out for the year. Marcus Smart, I think, has been hurt.
I feel like the only one in is Dante Exum.
Embiid's been hurt the whole year. What'd you say?
Is Exum the only one playing? And Wiggins?
Yeah, pretty much. That's about it. And James Young, I think it's James Young, the guy at the Celtics draft, or Chris Young.
The guy from Kentucky?
Yeah, he is actually in the NBA D League now because they didn't need him really right now. So he's kind of
actually hasn't been playing bad for Utah? My boy Rodney Hood.
Yeah, he hasn't actually been that bad. You're right.
He's been putting up some solid minutes.
How about Smart for the Celtics?
He's been hurt. He hasn't been playing that much.
He got hurt shortly after Randall got hurt, I believe.
Yeah. He's been hurt, coming back. But I think that's a major reason why Rondo got traded is because they have Marcus Smart for the future, who's supposed to be a very good player.
And Marcus Smart, I mean, he's not as good of a passer as Rondo or a defensive player.
Nobody really is in the league, yeah.
But he can do a lot more offensively than Rondo.
Right, and he's a fiery competitor also.
Yes. So.
And then you're looking at the 60, like we said, Milwaukee. They're going to drop down. 7's Miami at 12-15.
Who I think they're going to go up.
They're definitely going to go up, but it's still a surprise. I mean, Wade was playing for a while. He started to not play as much.
Well, they started off the season like 6-0 or 7-0.
Yeah,
or something.
and now they're 12-15, and they're 3 of their last 7, 3 of their last 10. I mean, so they're looking bad. And then Boston's in the 8 seed. So Brooklyn's right there, and as crazy as it is, New York's like 5 games out of being in a playoff spot at 5-23. Even though they're clearly not. I don't even want to put them in the playoff even conversation.
Disgusting.
But it looks like Philadelphia's win percentage is .080. That's pretty bad. They have 2 wins. They got a lot of bad teams.
That's only pretty bad?
Minnesota's bad. Utah's bad. New York's bad. And Philadelphia's 2-23. It's pretty pathetic.
Yeah, that is terrible. All right, well, don't go anywhere. When we get back, we're going to discuss a little bit of baseball, and we're going to be joined by a special guest, Adam Rubin. So don't go anywhere. Sports Justice will be right back.
How you doing, guys? This is Paul Bonanno from Sports Justice. We love talking about sports, but what we love more is hearing from you guys. We talk about anything you guys want to talk about, and we love helping you bring home a fantasy football championship.
We understand the struggle in picking out those starting lineups, and we provide the best advice you could find in a timely manner. So don't forget to get on the horn and join the debate. Give us a call at 516-858-5837. That's 516-858-5837.
Hey guys, this is Rich Warnock from Sports Justice, and we just wanted to wish you and your family a very, very happy holiday season, and thank you guys so much for the continued support.
They're singing Deck the Halls, not like Christmas at all. I remember when you were...
What's going on, guys? This is Rich Warnock, and I'm one of the co-hosts here at Sports Justice. Listen, we all know that Monday mornings at the office are the worst, but I promise that if you tune into Sports Justice at 10 a.m. on Cyber FM radio, we can kickstart your morning better than that huge cup of coffee you probably desire to get going. We here at Sports Justice don't just have you covered in the morning, but also for that mind-numbing rush hour drive home on Wednesdays at 5. And don't forget our NFL preview show on Saturday afternoons at 11 a.m. Not in front of a computer? No problem at all. Be sure to download the Cyber FM radio app to listen to Sports Justice on the go. So just to recap, that's Monday mornings at 10 a.m., Wednesday afternoons at 5 p.m., and Saturday afternoons at 11 a.m. It's Sports Justice.
All right, welcome back to Sports Justice. Now we're being joined by Adam Rubin. Adam, if you could just quickly give everyone a brief overview of what your role is and what you actually do for the people that don't know.
Well, I've served as the Mets beat writer for 12 years. Initially, that was with the New York Daily News, but for the past 5 years, I've been with ESPN. And obviously, technology has changed the job dramatically from when I first started. It used to be either you had it in the newspaper or you didn't have it in the newspaper. Now, obviously, there's been the advent of Twitter. The internet is more prominent in delivering the news, so really it's become more of a 24/7 job as opposed to once a day kind of producing an article that gets in the next day's paper.
All right, and as most people would know, you were at the winter meetings. What do you think of all the moves the Mets have made moving forward so far?
Well, I'm sure Met fans are frustrated when they see all the action around baseball, and the Mets, for the most part, have been inactive. They have added Michael Kadire. That was very early in the offseason. In early November at the GM meetings, they added John Mayberry Jr., the combination both being righty hitters who primarily play outfield, although Kadire sounds like probably is going to end up playing first base against a fair amount of lefties. That hopefully, from the Mets' perspective, gives them more success against lefty pitching next year. Sandy Alderson noted just in the last few days that the Mets were second to last in baseball and OPS against left-handed pitching last year. So that was the design there. Obviously, there's frustration that they're not really addressing the shortstop. They're not being very aggressive there, and it sounds very likely at this point like Wilmer Flores will be the shortstop. Other needs such as lefty relief, they're just going with minor league contracts, and the Rule 5 pick, Sean Gilmartin, will compete with that, Scott Rice. So a little frustration there, I'm sure, among Met fans. But this is a team that won 79 games last year. If you replayed the season with the team the Mets finished it with, probably they would creep over 500 because you're talking about Mejia and Familia as the closers and the back end of the bullpen instead of Farnsworth, Valverde early on. David Wright should be healthy now. I just spoke to him today. He's starting to swing a bat again. The shoulder should be fine. So, I mean, as I said, I don't think Met fans are thrilled, but clearly this is a team that should be above 500 next year, and if you're above 500, you're in the wild card conversation at least.
Speaking of Wilmer Flores, as you mentioned before, I've heard some good things about him this offseason in Venezuela with what he's been doing to get himself in baseball shape and get himself ready for next season. How do you think what he's been doing is going to translate to his play this upcoming year?
You know, he really dedicated himself last off-season in terms of going to Michigan to that fitness and nutrition camp, and he came back looking a lot different, a lot sleeker, and I think it did help his lateral movement. He's doing that again this year, although that is in Florida this time at the Mets complex. The Mets actually hired the person who runs that camp in Michigan to run it for them and oversee their strength and conditioning. So it'll be in Florida at the Mets complex. He's already participated in that, and Terry Collins was very complimentary of how quickly Wilmer was down there in Florida right after this past season ended. He's in Venezuela now playing for Margarita in the Venezuelan Winter League, doing well there, but he'll be back in Florida in January back at the Mets camp. So the dedication is there. I mean, there's probably a limit to his upside both offensively and defensively. I think I know that the rationale typically is to to accept his defense because his offense is good enough that you could accept the defense. I don't think he's shown that yet at the major league level, but certainly there's a potential there to hit some home runs and to be a little bit of an offensive force, which you don't normally see at shortstop. So hopefully the defense will be passable and the offense will be good enough to justify that defense.
All right, this is Paul Bonanno now, Mr. Rubin. Thanks for joining us. And just in case it doesn't work out with Flores, like you said, it's not really a sure thing. Who else do you think can fill in at that position just in case?
Now, they tendered Ruben Tejada a contract, so he's still around. It's always a fallback option for the Mets. Internally, you're going to have Matt Reynolds starting the season, in all likelihood, in AAA, but I really don't think at this point it's very likely. Sandy Alderson at the Christmas party this week was pretty definitive in saying that it's very likely going to be Wilmer Flores. He's just kind of said more likely than not in statements before that, so it really does sound like it's going to be Wilmer Flores. There aren't a lot of options left. Steven Drew is still sitting out there, but they don't like his offense and the price tag. Asdrubal Cabrera, they really don't like as a shortstop, and they don't view him as a shortstop. They view him as someone who's be better suited in another position. There's always a possibility, outside possibility of a trade with, say, the Mariners, but those things seem to have fizzled. So other than trading Dylan Gee this offseason and a few lefties on minor league deals, I think you're pretty much seeing what the Mets team in 2015 is going to be at this point.
Yeah, and like you said, there's a lot of rumors with Dylan Gee, possibly Colorado, a lot of other teams. It's looking less and less likely that he's going to be here this season. And what do you predict the starting rotation is going to look like at opening day?
Matt Harvey, I don't know if he'll actually be active on opening day, but he's perfectly fine because it's come out now that Terry Collins sounds like he wants to wait until the home opener, Game 7 of the season, to have Matt Harvey pitch as a conserve innings right off the bat. But I mean, clearly the rotation once they get into April is going to be Matt Harvey, Zach Wheeler, Jacob deGrom, which is 3 potential frontline guys, with Bartolo Colon and it sounds like John Neese they're going to keep over Dylan Gee. Now, if they get overwhelmed in the deal for John Neese, they'll trade him, but he's the only lefty in the rotation. They view him as having more upside, so they want to hold on to him because they want to win in 2015. So Dylan Gee is kind of the odd man out, not because they dislike him at all, just because he's making $5 million. He's basically the 6th starter at this point, and there's just not room for him. And you know, you always go through more than 5 starters in a season, but the Mets are pretty blessed at AAA to have capable starters there. So it's not like you're leaving yourself naked if you trade Dylan Gee, because you have a AAA rotation that very well could be Noah Syndergaard and Rafael Montero if he doesn't open the season in the bullpen, and Steven Matz, who was just rated by Baseball America the number 2 prospect in the organization, right behind Syndergaard. You have Matt Bowman there. You have Corey Mazzoni there. So there's plenty of capable arms there after a worn injury that you wouldn't really be exposing yourself by trading Dylan Gee.
Okay, now the Mets have been very lenient, to say the least, with Terry Collins last few years. He's missed the playoffs every year he's been here. Would you say there's a short leash with him going into the season?
I don't know. I mean, certainly if they got off to a 10-30 start or something like that, he'd be in trouble. But the team has played hard for him in the past. I expect with the additions they made, them to be competitive this year. So I don't think there's any reason to expect a tailspin coming out of the gate. But Sandy Alderson hasn't been the type of person to have knee-jerk reactions to short spurts of time. I mean, he's presided over 4 straight losing seasons himself. So I don't see there being any imminent jeopardy, and I think the Mets are going to be good enough for Terry to withstand any kind of early storm if there were one.
Okay, it's Billy Pop Emanuel now. I just wanted to ask real quick. We know that they moved the fences in again at Citi Field. Do you think that'll result in any more offense for the Mets?
Well, they did a study, off the top of my head, I think it was 27 extra home runs overall would have been hit with those dimensions had it been in place this past year. 16 extra homers for the Mets. I think 11 for the opponent was the number off the top of my head. And of those 16, I think it was Curtis Granderson would have hit 9 extra home runs. Now, you don't know there's no guarantee that that's going to duplicate itself in 2015, that if that it's exactly going to be the same, that Granderson's going to have 9 more home runs, the Mets are going to hit 16 more home runs. Things are changed year to year. But obviously that'll help the home run totals for the Mets. It'll help the opponent too. You hope it helps the Mets more than the opponent, but you never know about that either. But we've seen those wall changes before. When you actually look at it, I've stood on the outfield track at Citi Field since the change. It's 5 to 10 feet on average in right center, and that's really the only change. It's going to help in terms of the offense. It's not my cup of tea. I'd rather, with the pitching staff they have the deeper walls and just kind of build the team around the ballpark. But it's not really as dramatic a change as people might want to think it is.
Okay, and final question. You had said that you think the Mets will finish above 500. If you could put a number on it for us, what do you think it would be?
Well, I think they're probably like an 83, 84 win team, which will be close enough to the wild card. That's not going to get them in the wild card, but it's close enough to be in the conversation. And then maybe they go out and make a trade if they need to on July 31st if they are that close. And the reasons I say they should be 83 or 84 win team is, as I said, they won 79 games last year. That was with Farnsworth and Valverde handling the bulk of the back end duty early on in the season. Now they have Parnell coming back within a couple weeks of opening day from the Tommy John surgery. They'll have Mejia, Familia, Vic Black. You have Darno and Duda, who started off last year terribly. Hopefully they're looking more like the second half players. David Wright, even though he's turning 32 in a few days, the shoulder hopefully is better than a year ago, so that's a non-issue, and he produces more power. He was in single digits last year. You have the addition of Kadire, which should be better than the combination of Chris Young and Eric Young last year. So there are reasons to think the Mets, Matt Harvey, obviously, the rotation was very good last year, but you have Matt Harvey instead of Dylan G in the rotation. So there's no guarantee that Jacob deGrom duplicates exactly what he did last year, but you would think this team is at least 4 or 5 wins better than they were a year ago just by the additions and the players returning and the players who should be better from injury. So that's where I come up with that number.
All right, Adam, we want to thank you again for taking some time out of your day to talk to us here, and we hope to hear from you again soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Adam Rubin, what a great interview. Don't go anywhere. We're going to step aside real quick, and when we get back, we'll have some reactions to some of the stuff Adam had to say, and we're also going to talk a little baseball right here on Sports Justice. Hey there, everyone. It's Sean from Sports Justice. Me and the guys just wanted to take time out to wish you guys a happy and healthy holiday season.
Hey guys, this is Paul from Sports Justice. From the entire Sports Justice crew, we'd like to send our warmest wishes to you and your family and wish you a happy and healthy holiday season.
The Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. Mistletoe hung where you can see every couple tries to stop. Rocking around the Christmas tree.
Hey guys, this is Sean Snyder, one of your hosts of Sports Justice on Cyber FM Radio. We're doing a lot of stuff on our social media, so we want to make sure you guys are able to get a look at it. Check out our Facebook, Sports Justice, our Instagram, Sports Justice, our Twitter at Sports_Justice. And while you're at it, check out our website, Sports.Justice.radio.com. While you're there, don't forget to leave us some feedback.
How you doing, guys? This is Paul Bonanno from Sports Justice. We love talking about sports, but what we love more is hearing from you guys. We talk about anything you guys want to talk about, and we love helping you bring home a fantasy football championship. We understand the struggle in picking out those starting lineups, and we provide the best advice you could find in a timely manner. So don't forget to get on the horn and join the debate. Give us a call at 516-858-5837. That's 516-858-5837.
Welcome back, Sports Justice, live on Cyber FM Radio, not online radio, but radio online. Give us a call, 516-858-5837. If there's anything you want to touch on from that Adam Rubin
I want to touch
interview.
on something. What song was that? What are you even playing over here?
It was a little Four Seasons.
Four Seasons he comes in
The
with.
restaurant?
He goes from Drake to Four Seasons all the time. All right, go ahead. Continue.
Anyway, give us a call, 516-858-5837, if you want to touch on anything that was stated by Mr. Rubin or by us throughout the interview. If you want to talk about anything around the MLB, give us a call at any time. I'm going to let Billy talk to you for a minute now because he's got some stuff that he wants to tell you about.
Well, first we just wanted to thank Mr. Adam Rubin for coming on the show. But if you guys missed the interview or wanted to re-listen to it, we're going to have it up on the YouTube, and check it out, Sports Justice. And while you're there, subscribe, because we're going to be getting that channel going even a little more, getting a little more content for you guys up there.
We're going to have We're going to have our shows on there coming up soon?
Yeah, we're going to be able to re-listen to the shows.
And per topic, you'll be able to just click on the topic, and it'll bring you directly to that spot in the show, and you'll be able to listen. Is that right?
Some big things.
Yep.
That's very nice. And yeah, Adam Rubin is actually, he works for ESPN like he said. He's for the Mets. He's actually down, I think, in Florida right now watching them. He's taking pictures of David Wright before also. So he said a lot of interesting things there, too. I asked him about Terry Collins. He said that unless they go, 5-30, they're not going to fire him, which I'm against that. I think he should be gone.
Oh, I think he should be out the door.
I was kind of hoping he was going to say something like that.
Him.
But apparently he said, no, the Mets really believe in him, and they think that there's a chance he'll be able to stay. I hate it. I hate everything about
every
that.
second of that, too.
The other thing I hated about what he said was that Wilmer Flores is looking like the shortstop for us. And you asked him about he's been playing well in Venezuela. And they said that they still think he has plenty of pop in the bat, and they think he can play shortstop for them.
We haven't seen any of it.
No, we've seen very small glimpses of it. And then if it doesn't work out, Ruben Tejada is the only option they have. And Ruben Tejada, I forgot was even on the team. By the time I asked him, I forgot he was even on the team because he's been so bad.
You know, it was interesting, though. He didn't say anything about Dilson Herrera. I know he said a little bit about the guy Reynolds they have in the farm system. But
And now the reports are going around here. The big news with the Mets is that they're inquiring about Troy Tulowitzki, which we've been hearing about for 2 seasons now. But they put the chances at 5%, probably 5 to 10%. And Rich saw that thing on Wikipedia. I thought that was interesting. That
it happened with the Jets.
Yeah, it said on Troy Tulowitzki's Wikipedia page, it actually said shortstop of the New York Mets on it. I don't know if he snapshotted
That happens a lot.
Did he actually see that, or did he screenshot that off of somebody's Twitter or something?
I feel like someone could Photoshop that. And
that's what I'm saying.
Post it just to get some buzz.
So
going.
I'm not going to put it at 100% confidence right now, but Rich sent us a picture of it, which would be interesting because, like you said, Chris Johnson had said that a week or two before he actually got signed by the Jets.
Yeah, so I mean, it's interesting. Maybe Wikipedia has some.
And you
source.
like
what does
the
it say
idea.
on there, Billy?
It says he's a Colorado Rocky.
Yeah, I figured maybe it changed, but who knows? For at least maybe a second, it could have possibly been. But Sean, you like the idea of trading Noah Syndergaard and maybe a few others for Troy Tulowitzki.
I wouldn't say a few others. I would trade Noah Syndergaard and one other pitcher.
Okay.
I wouldn't. At first, I heard they wanted Syndergaard and Wheeler, and I would pull that trigger and do that.
What?
Then I heard they wanted Syndergaard, Wheeler, and a couple of prospect bats, which I wouldn't do. But Syndergaard and Wheeler, I would definitely do.
I would not do it.
I would
not
pull
even
that
a
trigger
little
right
bit.
now.
Right
now, I would shake their hand and say, "Let's take him."
Well, let's just take this into effect here. Ready? Tulowitzki is guaranteed what? Missing 90 games per season?
You don't know that.
He's literally going to be our shortstop for 60, 70 games.
That's not necessarily true.
He stinks on the road. He does hit well at Citi Field. I'll give you that. But on the road, he bats .418, I think, in Coors Field, which is automatically a red flag because everybody bats well there. And then he's automatically hurt. He doesn't hit well on the road. Why would you give up our top pitching prospect?
Because we have tons of pitching prospects.
Our number 3 pitcher, you're saying with Wheeler.
To be quite frankly, Noah Syndergaard wasn't that impressive last year in AAA. And everything I'm hearing about Matz is that he's almost as good as Syndergaard, if not better, as we're getting a phone call right now. Hello, you're on Sports Justice.
Hey, it's Jeff.
What's going on?
I had an interesting conversation with Rich on Facebook yesterday about Tulowitzki and all. He brought up Starlin Castro as well. I personally think they're better off with Tulowitzki because they don't have what the Cubs are going to need now to get Castro. It looks like the Cubs have taken care of the pitching issues. What do the Mets have for him?
Well, if they get Syndergaard, he could be a number 3 or 4 starter, or even just wait until maybe somebody gets hurt. You have a nice little pitching coming up.
I don't know about that. I mean, it looks like from the sounds of it, that they took care of their pitching problems, though, with the couple of signings that they
Lester
did.
was a nice help there.
Yeah, that's going to be a big help.
It could be, but I mean, for me as a Mets fan, I'd definitely rather have Starlin Castro. I'd trade Syndergaard for Castro. I don't think I would do it for Tulowitzki, though. Tulowitzki's just injury-prone every single year.
But, I don't 100% disagree with you, but if you have the option of getting him, you go for it.
I guess so. It's just that
he's a guy who makes the team better.
Yeah, he
50 games.
Look at it this way, all right? If we sit here all the time and we say, if we were Yankee fans, we would see all these World Series and all these championships. Well, the reason you've seen all this is because the Yankees have made moves like this, these big risk, big reward moves to put them in positions to win a championship and to contend for a championship. You bring in Tulowitzki. I mean, I know Rich has high hopes for this team coming into this year without Tulowitzki, which is saying a lot. But you bring in Tulowitzki, I think they're a lock for at least a wild card with the lineup they have.
Oh, geez, I'm not going that far at all.
I mean, you have DeGrom and Harvey as your 1-2. I mean, you already have capable pitchers in Cologne and Nice who you've seen. There's Montero, who we saw flashes of, who I'm not too fond of, but I know a lot of people are fond of Montero. We're hearing great things about Matz. You still have Dylan G on the roster, and there's a ton of young prospects that we have. That's all we've heard about for this team is young prospects. I honestly would rather trade Syndergaard now while he has value rather than him end up like another Fernando Martinez where we're looking back on it saying we could have had Roy Halladay for 5 years before he retired. Instead, we get stuck with a guy who doesn't pan out. Syndergaard didn't have that good of a year in AAA. He got hurt in AAA. We have Matz, who's rated right behind him by Baseball America, as Adam Rubin told us before, and he's not that far behind him, apparently.
Right.
So it's not like we're out of options once we get rid of Syndergaard. And Wheeler, I mean, he had a good second half of the year, but Wheeler's a guy we've been sitting on for 3 years now waiting to see him reach his potential. Mm-hmm. So I think we're in a position here where we trade for the best shortstop in baseball.
Whoa.
I pull the trigger immediately.
Best shortstop in baseball for a small portion because he's hurt all the time, though.
Paul.
He has all the tools.
He's going to be a 300 hitter. He's going to hit you 25 to 30 home runs. He's an all-star. I mean, all you need is this guy to stay on the field. And apparently that surgery that he had last year is something that'll prevent him from getting hurt in the future, I was hearing.
They say that about everybody's surgery.
Well, you hope it's true. I mean, I think right now the position the Mets are in, this is a trade that you need to make. This is the difference from us just being outside the playoffs to making the playoffs.
I agree. Even if he plays 140 games, he's going to play better than anybody else. You're going to put Wilmer Flores, or whoever you get, at shortstop.
He hasn't played 140 games. He's only played 140 games 3 times in his career.
Yes. Yes, but you don't know. I mean, again, it's one of those risk-reward things. You gotta take the risk. That's my view. I don't see them getting Castro.
The reward of him being on the field for 115 games, 120 games is worth the risk. I mean, they're talking about Wilmer Flores being our everyday shortstop. Hell, if we bring in Tulowitzki, I can deal with Flores for 40 games a season if it has to be done. I mean, you just think of this lineup when you put Tulowitzki in it. First of all, that opens up so many things because as of right now, I saw a post that was something like the projected lineup based on what Terry Collins said. And it was Lagares, Granderson, Wright, Duda, Murphy, Kadire, d'Arnaud, and Flores. Now, imagine what happens here all of a sudden. You could put Tulowitzki in the 3 slot. You could put him in the 4 slot. I'd put Murphy in the 3 slot. I'd put Tulo in the 4 spot. I'd put Wright back in the 5th slot. Then you have Kadire. Duda all of a sudden is your 7 hitter. And you have d'Arnaud batting 8. I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to pitch around Duda to get to d'Arnaud? There's one soft spot in the lineup then all of a sudden.
Probably. I mean, you could say a lot of stuff about Castro, too. Castro bats 290 to 300 every year also, and he's a lot younger. He's an all-star also.
Yeah, but I just don't see them making the move for Castro as they would for Tulowitzki.
And he's a lot less money.
And I don't think the Cubs want to talk to us really for Castro much anymore.
Tulowitzki's making a ton of money also, which is another key in this thing. He's making a lot of money. You need Colorado to eat a lot of that money also.
If it can get you a championship, though, it's worth it.
Oh, I agree, I guess.
And I think Tulo brings that bat to the lineup that we need to take that next step. I wouldn't say we're a championship contender right away with him because we still have some flaws that we have to work on, but I would say it's a step in the right direction, which we haven't seen the Mets on that path in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Well, thank you for the call. We always appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, Castro's 6 years younger with no injury prone, and in his career, right, he started... We'll say 2010, he's played 125 in that year, his rookie year. Then he played 158, 162, 161, 134.
I'm not arguing with you that Castro's the more suitable quarterback in terms of injuries and for the long... wow.
Quarterback?
The football came up on
We're talking Chicago? He's going to be the next quarterback of the Bears.
Yeah, the Bears.
Yeah, it could be.
No, I'm not going to argue that Castro would be a better fit. But at some point, the Mets as an organization have to stop worrying about the age and the future and the next 5 years.
Why would you ever stop worrying about it? Look what happened to the Yankees when they stop and they stink and they have no future.
You have to start worrying about the now, though. The Mets have this farm system built up. I mean, I've heard of at least 3 shortstops in the Mets farm system who are supposed to be good. Wilmer Flores being one of them.
Where are they? Yeah.
But there's Dilson Herrera, who I've been hearing of, and now they have this kid Reynolds. So I think, you know what, whether you get if you get Castro, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can bring in Tulowitzki as your shortstop for the next 4 to 5 years, I think that's fine because they have all this young talent in the farm system, which we've been hearing about. I think at some point, you have to kind of put the age factor to the side and take a guy who can have an immediate impact on your lineup.
I understand. I like Tulowitzki. He is a good player when he plays. It's just that I just don't think you should give up one of your best prospect for a guy that you know is going to be hurt, who at the end of the year is probably not going to be there. He has all 5 tools. He has good speed, probably the best arm at shortstop in the league, a great bat, hits home runs. It's just that he's older, he's making a ton of money, he's always injury prone, and this is what we hate about the Jets, how they get injury prone guys.
When does his contract expire?
Oh, not for a while, I think. He signed through 2020.
So I don't know why you're saying he won't be here at the end of the year.
At the end of this year, as in he's going to be hurt at the end of the season.
Oh, I thought you were saying as in he's going to go somewhere else.
I mean, at the end of the season, he's going to have an arm injury or a leg injury or whatever injury. And
but you don't know that. You can't predict the injuries here.
But I feel like with him, you can predict it. Every year he gets hurt.
Yeah, but even with him last year, I feel like he kind of got hurt in the middle of the season. He was there for the start and the end. So if we lose him for a stretch of, if he gets on the 30-day DL sometime in the middle of the season, and that's all we have to worry about, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with Flores for a stretch of 30 games, a platoon of Flores and Tejada for a stretch of 30 games in the middle of the season, because that's what we would be dealing with all season this season anyway if we don't get Tulowitzki.
Mm-hmm.
The impact it'll have on the team for the other 120, 130 games in the season means so much more than those 30 games where he'd be out, which we'd be playing with the lineup we were going to play with anyway this year. Not to mention, you bring in Tulowitzki, and now all of a sudden this team's starting to get a taste of winning. There's the chance Harvey re-signs now, which honestly isn't looking too likely if the Mets don't put up a good year this year that he's going to re-sign. He's probably going to jump ship and go somewhere else. So I think at this point, if you're the Wilpons, if you're Sandy Alderson, I mean, you've done so much to build up this farm system, which is what you've held your head high on. But at some point, you have to make a move for the now, and you have to worry about what do I have to do to make these guys happy so they're going to want to stay here. Because no one's going to want to stay on a team that just keeps worrying about the next 5 years and not worrying about winning games.
Yeah. Do you want to hear his injuries since 2008?
Let's go at it.
So, he's had 2 major surgeries in his left hip last year, in his labrum, and the year before that was his groin area. He had a major surgery. And in 2008, he tore his left quad. So he has a torn quad, a torn hip, and a torn groin. What would make you – and it's only a matter of time before his arm probably goes out the way he throws the ball. But he also said he would retire before he ever changes position, which would help his health if he played a different position.
Well, if he comes to the Mets, there's no other position he's moving to.
Right. But what I'm saying is, there's a little bit of a stubborn factor going. I'm not going to say he's that stubborn, but...
Well, we have the most stubborn player in baseball and Matt Harvey on our team.
It's true, and he's starting to wear thin a little bit on players. But, I guess we can finish this conversation. We know how we both stand here. Castro, the Cubs have said right now that he's not available for trade, but...
I think we both agree that Castro would be the better move
for
moving forward. But, I
think by the midseason, I feel like they're going to want to trade Castro.
Well, you have to see. They're also in a situation where they have the young guys behind them, and they have to see how they pan out. I mean, these guys could be playing in AAA this year, even some glimpses in the majors over at second base for them if need be. If they're not panning out, they're not going to move Castro. I think they really want to see what they're going to be able to get out of these guys throughout spring training and throughout glimpses of the season before they move Castro.
Well, they have a shortstop named Madison Russell in their farm system who's supposed to be very, very good, one of the top guys, and they're waiting for him to be ready also.
I'm just sick of hearing this, we have these top guys in our farm system because half of them never pan out.
Yeah, it's like Fernando Martinez, Lastings Millage.
Millage. I mean, all the offers we could have got. I mean, it's every team, too. It's not just us, though.
Fernando Martinez was one of the bad ones where they kept saying, we're not trading this guy for anything, and then he just didn't do anything.
We were offered Roy Halladay. We were offered everything. I'm just sick of hearing all this, I'm not trading these farm guys. They're untouchable. They're the top farm guy.
Yeah.
And then half of them don't pan out. Baseball with these young guys, it's not like basketball and like football. Baseball, they sit in the farm system for so long. I feel like the only way you know what you're going to get out of these guys is the guys that come up and have an immediate impact. The guys like Matt Harvey, these guys that don't sit in AAA, the guys that can come right to the majors and have an impact.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, stuff like that. Otherwise, once these guys hit AAA and they're on this prospect list, you don't know what you're going to get out of them. You got to see what you're going to get out of them. It's boom or bust.
Yeah, it's true. All right, so should we move to the other teams?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, well,
some other big moves.
The big team going on right now, who is usually the most boring team in baseball.
Sweeping everyone up.
San Diego Padres here. Here we go. I'll just list off who they got this week, pretty much. Justin Upton. Well, they went in with no outfielders, pretty much. Now they have Justin Upton. Matt Kemp, who there was a little bit of controversy with that. Will Myers, AL Rookie of the Year 2 years ago, had a bad year last year. Will Middlebrooks, who was a promising third baseman, right, from the Red Sox, who still has a lot of power in that bat. He's going to start at third base. And Derek Norris, and I forget Jed Gyorko, I think is how you say his name.
Jed Gyorko, yeah.
So they have, is the only position player who, from the club last year, who's still there.
And he was a catcher who they expected big things out of last year, which he got hurt, but it's nice that they brought in Norris just in case, because Norris is a really solid guy.
Right. So they're outfield right now. Upton, Kemp, and maybe Will Myers.
Here's the thing that worries me about San Diego, and I was talking about this a little bit yesterday. They brought in bats. Their lineup, I mean, I don't remember the last time I've seen a lineup with this many bats in it out of San Diego since Brian Giles was on the team playing right field.
Boy, yeah.
The days with him and Adrian Gonzalez. I mean, it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is you can have all the bats you want in that ballpark. You need pitching in this ballpark. I mean, I'm glad they brought in Justin Upton, a guy who doesn't know how to hit doubles. He either hits home runs or strikes out. I mean, hey. Good for you. You're not going to hit many home runs there, Justin, but you know what? Maybe you get some hits there.
Yeah.
Matt Kemp is, if he can return to his ways, he's going to be a 300 hitter because that ballpark has space, and he could put the ball into space. And I like Will Myers. I don't think Justin Upton really fits the park, but you need pitching. Their best pitcher is probably their number 4 pitcher, and I can't even pronounce his name. Disamir Despaigne or something like that.
Yeah, he's their 5-starter. I don't know.
And he almost threw a no-hitter against the Mets. He's probably the most promising pitcher they have. But they need pitchers who can come in and pitch to this ballpark because right now their pitching isn't looking too spectacular. And with a ballpark like this, you hit that ball in the outfield and these guys are going to be running.
Yeah, it's possible. Ian Kennedy's still on there, and Ian Kennedy had a pretty rough year, I think, last year. But he has been good for them. 2 years ago, I think, was when he was
Ian Kennedy, I feel like, is kind of that Brandon Webb effect. He had a good year about the middle of his career at some point,
right.
And he got noticed off of it, and then he just never will be himself again. I don't know if I put that much faith in Ian Kennedy moving forward.
Yeah, and the number 1 pitcher is Andrew Kashner. Well, I don't know who that is really.
He had a solid year last year. He's young, but they didn't re-sign Matt Latos, who was probably their best pitcher. He just can't stay healthy. He went to Miami. Another team making some moves. They signed Mike Morse. They bring in Matt Latos, too, and then they traded for D. Gordon. Now, all of a sudden, Miami's looking like they can be in contention in the NL East.
And the big one is with the Yankees, with Martin Prado is now.
Oh, that was a terrible trade by the Yankees. I don't know what they were thinking.
I don't really like it either because Prado, he plays every position. He can play outfield, he can play third, he can play second, he can play any
Not
position.
to mention, every single bat in your lineup is injury-prone, and you have a player who can go out there and play any of the positions. He could play 8 of 9 positions on the field except pitch.
Right.
It's the only thing this guy can't do. You need him to catch, he could throw on the gear and catch. First base, second base, third base, any of the outfield positions. This guy can literally play anywhere. When you have a lineup like the Yankees where Teixeira can't stay on the field, God only knows who their second baseman's going to be. Their shortstop's a young guy who no one knows what he's going to do. Third base, Chase Headley. This is a guy that everyone's been waiting to come around for the last 6 years. He's done nothing. Your outfielders, Ellsbury goes down every year. Who else do they have out there? Ichiro, Gardner. I mean, any one of these guys gets hurt. I mean, Beltran, Prado could play any of these positions for them.
Mm-hmm. And now they got Nathan Eovaldi.
Big deal, a number 4 starter.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
Pretty much who.
And you traded Phelps too, a guy who throws flame. He throws like 94, 95, and he's young with potential.
Eovaldi went 6-14. Last year with, I'm looking for his ERA.
It makes no sense to me.
Mid-4 ERA.
It makes no sense to me. 6-14 with an ERA in the mid-4s. Let's trade a young, promising pitcher and a guy who could play any position for us because our whole lineup gets hurt.
Yeah, and it's the fact that, Chase Headley, they re-signed him for a lot of money, and they signed him for a lot of money because there was other teams out there offering him a lot of money, and they had to kind of get him because they didn't believe in A-Rod at all. But I think it may have been better to keep Prado, make him play third base for a lot less money.
100%. Prado's a guy who
he's a better hitter probably, but Headley's a better fielder.
Yes, Chase Headley's a better fielder, and they've been saying they're waiting for his bat to come around for the last however many years now. But Prado, you know what you're going to get. He's a solid defensive player. He'll bat in 280-ish with 15 home runs, and Yankee Stadium's a wiffle ball park, so you might even get 20 out of him there. And he'll produce for you. He'll go out there and he'll work his tail off every single game.
Right.
I mean, when you think of a New York Yankee, okay, this is what gets me about this. You think of a New York Yankee, you think of these players who, like the Chuck Knoblauchs and all these guys who, they may not have all the best.
The Chuck Knoblauch, that's the first name that came out, huh?
They may not have all the best ability in them and raw ability and raw talent, but they work their tail off and they don't take no, and they just get out there and they produce in whatever ways they can.
Mm-hmm.
When you think of Pinstripes, that's what you think of. Guys that work hard, guys that want to be there, guys that want to play hard, guys that want to come in and produce for you. And that's what I think of when I think of Martin Prado. I think he's a perfect fit for this team, and they let him go.
Yeah, and Prado also, I think, once he came to the Yankees, he batted like 315 for them.
He had a great year for them.
He ended up batting 282, and yeah, the only thing with Eovaldi is he averages 96 miles an hour, so he throws flames, and the Yankees like those guys. And it's worked out for him. Brandon McCarthy, they got a lot of these guys that haven't been good, and they come to the Yankees. And, they got Pineda a few years ago. If he stays healthy, that's already, because they gave up nothing for him. They gave up, I think, Montero, and Montero is in the minors somewhere, so. And I think he weighs like 400 pounds now. So that's already a win for them, but they're kind of just trying to get younger. They're trying to get more talent because they're so old. They need younger talent to at least get them through the season, I think. That's it.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, either way, the Yankees are in some trouble. It's kind of interesting for a change, though, seeing the Yankees kind of digress or degress.
The Mets are kind of on their way up. Yeah, they're on their way up. They're on the come up. Where
they're
the Yankees.
They're kind of at that crossroad right now, the Mets and the Yankees. They're at that traffic light waiting to cross each other. So this season will really be a good judge point to see where these two teams are at. But don't go anywhere. As we said before, we have some Saturday football and some Sunday football. So we're going to talk some football when we get back right here on Sports Justice.
What's going on, guys? This is Rich Warnock, and I'm one of the co-hosts here at Sports Justice. Listen, we all know that Monday mornings at the office are the worst, but I promise that if you tune into Sports Justice at 10 a.m. on Cyber FM radio, we can kickstart your morning better than that huge cup of coffee you probably desire to get going. We here at Sports Justice don't just have you covered in the morning, but also for that mind-numbing rush hour drive home on Wednesdays at 5. And don't forget our NFL preview show on Saturday afternoons at 11 a.m. Not in front of a computer? No problem at all. Be sure to download the Cyber FM radio app to listen to Sports Justice on the go. So just to recap, that's Monday mornings at 10 a.m., Wednesday afternoons at 5 p.m., and Saturday afternoons at 11 a.m. It's Sports Justice. Hey guys, this is Rich Warnock from Sports Justice, and we just wanted to wish you and your family a very, very happy holiday season, and thank you guys so much for the continued support.
They're singing Deck the Halls, not like Christmas at all. I remember when you were.
Hey there, everyone. It's Sean from Sports Justice. Me and the guys just wanted to take the time out to wish you guys a happy and healthy holiday season. Welcome back, Sports Justice Live on Cyber FM Radio, not online radio, but radio online. We want to remind you, give us a call, 516-858-5837. Get on the horn and let us know what you think of the offseason for the Mets, the Padres, the Yankees, the Marlins, the Dodgers, any of these teams. We didn't touch on the Dodgers. They're an interesting one, though. They were kind of the perspective of any prospect we'll take, and then we'll trade them somewhere else.
We're going to wait for our MLB expert, Rich Warnock, to be back for that one, I think.
Yeah, all right. But now we're going to move on to the football side of things. As we said, there's some Saturday games. There's a 4:30 game and an 8:30 game, I want to say, or an 8 o'clock game.
Something like that, yeah.
I know there's two games. There's a late afternoon and a night game.
It's 4:30 and 8:25, so yes.
All right. So we're going to get into both of those, and then we're going to get into our Sunday picks. But first, we're going to talk about some stuff going around in football. Jim Harbaugh. I can't say the name.
You
literally
practiced it 100 times, then you butchered it. Okay.
Can't say it. Harbaugh? How do you say it?
I say Harbaugh, but
Harbaugh, whatever it is. I don't know. I'm never going to be able to say his name.
Harbaugh.
Harbaugh.
Anyone who knows how to pronounce the name, give us a call and let us know.
There
But anyway,
you go.
it's looking more and more like he's going to Michigan unless he gets an offer he likes from.
He's
an
at
NFL
least
team.
considering. He said, I think Marcellus Wiley is the one that said he is going to choose Michigan, but all of his friends and family are saying that he should take the job at Michigan. I believe it's 6 years, like $50 million for it. But
Put him into a nice little retirement package.
what I was hearing is that he wants to wait for NFL jobs to open up and maybe offer him a job. He'd rather be in the NFL than do this. But if he doesn't like the offers that he gets, then he will go to the Michigan job,
it will be.
which they can use him because Michigan hasn't been good in forever. It only hurts Michigan, though, because the recruiting season, I think, already started.
Yes.
So they're already going to lose a little bit. But I think you have to wait. If you get a guy like Harbaugh, you have to wait.
Yeah, 100%. It doesn't hurt to wait. I mean, yeah, the recruiting may not be good for this upcoming season because they don't know who the coach is going to be. But you look at next year, once you see Harbaugh, I'm not even going to try. Once you see Jim coaching that team, I mean, who's going to say no, they don't want to go?
And he was a star quarterback there at Michigan, winning the Big Ten Player of the Year honors and finishing third in the Heisman as a senior in 1986. So he's got a lot of reputation there and a lot of history there.
He's got a bunch of plaques there.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's why his family and friends are telling him, you should at least consider it and think about going there because that's where you really became who you are, is by going there. And I'm sure he has a lot of, friendly faces he has around the campus
Oh, they all
there.
know him there, I'm sure.
So we'll have to see with that. But, I mean, I just want to stick with the coaching thing for a little bit in that there's going to be a lot of openings coming up, which we know of. And
Black Monday is fastly approaching.
it's definitely fastly approaching, and Rex Ryan is one of the key names in there. I've heard a few things about this, and I want to know what you think about it. First, I heard reports that Atlanta would be a nice spot for him because their offense is already good.
It's just the defense.
Their defense stinks, and Rex, as soon as he takes a step on the field, is going to make that defense better already. So I think that's an interesting one. And they had Westhoff on the Michael Kay show yesterday, and he was saying a great fit would be Chicago because it looks like Lovie Smith might not stay. They don't have really a quarterback right now, but Alshon Jeffrey, Brandon Marshall, Matt Forte is enough to at least give you a little bit of offense. You could find maybe Jay Cutler stays, maybe they trade for somebody.
He could bring him back to those old defensive
But
days when Ditka was the coach.
Right, when you think Chicago, you think defense. Even Brian Urlacher and all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Julius Peppers, and they had a lot of good guys there. So it's like those two teams. Where would you see him if he's not on the Jets next year? Which he still could be, but is looking less and less likely, especially with the game that we are headed to tomorrow against the Patriots.
Jets-Pats.
Yes. What do you think? Do either of those two teams intrigue you for Rex Ryan?
They definitely both are good suitors for him. I could see him going more to Atlanta, I think.
Yeah, I think Atlanta's a nice fit because he doesn't have to worry about the offense there. Offense is pretty set. Same thing kind of with Chicago. I mean, they don't have a quarterback, I guess, but they have two great receivers and a great running back. With Atlanta, they don't have that running back, but they have a ridiculous receiving core, and Matt Ryan, he can run the offense on his own.
Yeah, the reason
There's a lot of places that Rex fits as a defensive coordinator.
Where else would you say?
Well, we're not talking defensive coordinators. We're talking.
Yeah, this head coaching position.
Head coaching?
I don't see him being a
even
defensive
Houston.
coordinator.
Houston?
I don't know if Houston's going to let go of Bill O'Brien.
Yeah, they just
really
got
like
him, and they actually played pretty well this year. They're, right around 500. They're above 500. I don't know if they're going to fire him.
It's a defensive-built team. I could see Rex in that role.
I don't think they're going to let O'Brien go just to say, we're getting Rex.
No, I don't see that.
They also, Westhoff is good friends with Rex Ryan. He was saying, they were like, make a pitch for me. Rex is about to win 3 games this year. Make a pitch for him being a coach. He's like, it's not easy. He's like, I love Rex, but, with Andy Reid, he was terrible with the Eagles. Then he goes to Kansas City, and they're winning games. So he said, it's not like it's unheard of. It's just a wrong fit for right now, especially with no offense at all. But with the Falcons, I think that's probably the best fit because they just have a ton of offense, and they just need defensive help because we know they're terrible defensively.
And once that offensive line gets healthy, it's a different story for that offense too. They look a lot better than they did this year.
It's just the fact that he can stay on the defensive side. But I think you're right with defensive coordinator. He's probably not going to choose that. He'd probably
I see
ESPN.
head coach or TV because he'll get a ton more money in TV, and then you know what? He'll get to spend a little more time with his family too.
Right. So I think it's one of those two also. So should we get into the Jay Cutler situation now with Chicago? We're talking about Chicago for a little bit.
Hopefully the next quarterback of the New York Jets here.
Probably. Well, maybe. I'm still on the fence. I would like him.
I would take him with arms wide open.
It's just a lot of money to give up.
Oh man, talk about a lot of money. New York's bringing in contracts all of a sudden, taking on Tulo's contract, taking on Cutler's contract.
Well, it's surprising in that we learned that Jay Cutler's going to be benched now, and Jimmy Clausen,
a Notre Dame quarterback. Who was the last Notre Dame quarterback to be good? It was sure as hell wasn't Brady Quinn. He's doing broadcasting now.
Yeah, I don't even know, but for this one, it was a little bit of a surprise. And Jimmy Clausen, who hasn't started a game since 2010, I think he's like 3 of 12 since then, or something like that.
He's terrible.
Passing, I think. He hasn't thrown a pass, I think. The last time he threw a pass in a game, he was like 3 of 9 for like 22 yards or something like that.
He's terrible. He's not good.
I've also heard, interesting report about this, that he could light it up with this offense because he's going to run the Trestman offense the way it should be run.
Oh.
Where Trestman's been asking Jay Cutler to do that, and he hasn't been. He's been just doing his own thing. He hasn't been running the Trestman offense. And we saw it with McCown last year. He ran the Trestman offense, and he ran it very well. And we've seen he's not a very good quarterback on Tampa Bay. So it was kind of the offense. And maybe they're saying that Jimmy Clausen, they believe that he can run this offense the way it's supposed to be run. It's kind of like with Mark Sanchez and the Eagles. We don't think Sanchez is that good of a quarterback, but with that fit, he's actually looking like a pretty good quarterback.
Well, I'd like to wait and see before I jump the gun here.
I'm just saying the report out there is that he could light it up, quote unquote.
All right.
He's also going against Detroit, who's probably the best defense in the league, or top 2 or 3 in the league. So
we'll see after
it's a tough week to judge.
Sue gets to him a couple times. We'll see how he's lighting it up.
Yeah, but with the Cutler deal, the intriguing thing is the first-round pick.
Yeah, now they're
saying if you're a team that needs a quarterback and an additional pick, that's gold.
Yeah. Adam Schefter was reporting this, is that NFL executives believe the Bears may have to give up a draft pick in order to trade Jay Cutler.
Listen, if I'm the Jets, I'm all in for that. You got a pick, you got a quarterback.
Yeah, I might be in.
And
it's a pretty decent pick. The Bears are where? Probably 15.
You figure you'll have 2 picks in the top 20. One of them will be the top 8.
The problem is John Idzik making those draft picks because he stinks at making draft picks from what we've seen.
Oh,
if he's still there.
Yeah.
It'll be an injured defensive back. But, you get 2 picks in the top 20. One of them will be in the top 8. And you get a quarterback for your team.
Chicago's in the top 10 right now.
They may restart the whole thing where...
So, look at this. You get 2 top 10 picks and a quarterback. You mean to tell me
so
that the Jets
if
can't
it were the
use
Jets,
that?
they would have the 6th and the 9th.
Who are the Jets trading then?
Well, first, I have no idea.
It would be we would give up our 6th-round draft pick.
I don't think we're giving up our 6th, and then we get a 1st and a quarterback.
Well,
who wouldn't be on that board?
Someone...
It would have to be somebody else also. I don't know who you
Whoever
could
they
Michael
want.
Vick.
Who do they
It could be
want?
Vic, could be Gino, could be any of those guys.
Who do they want, they can have them.
Yeah,
Anyone except our 3 defensive linemen.
I agree.
Take them.
And it's 2 teams kind of resetting because Chicago is probably getting rid of Trestman and Jay Cutler. So they're kind of hitting the reset button. If the Jets get rid of Idzik, Rex, and their quarterback situation, they're kind of resetting the whole offense.
Oh, yeah.
If the Jets can get somebody like, you've been bringing up Cooper because it looks like the 2 quarterbacks might be out by the way we're picking. If we get Cooper with maybe Harvin, Curley, and Decker, that's a solid receiving core. With Jay Cutler, who could probably spin the ball around, with maybe a Chris Ivory, it's at least looking promising for the Jets.
There's actually some offensive fire.
Then all of a sudden it looks like the defense is the problem, and the offense is actually not as big
And when
of
we
a problem.
say the defense, it just becomes a secondary.
Probably, that's true. And, and we also need a defensive coordinator and defensive coach. Well, actually, we might keep Dennis Thurman as our defensive coordinator, but the coaching situation is what we're looking at.
Who knows what he can do without Rex calling the plays, so that'll be interesting to see.
That's true. So we'll have to see. You want to take a quick break, and we'll get into the picks?
Yeah, we're going to step aside real quick, and when we get back, we're going to get into our picks for this weekend's games. Hey there, everyone. It's Sean from Sports Justice. Me and the guys just wanted to take the time out to wish you guys a happy and healthy holiday season.
Hey guys, this is Paul from Sports Justice. From the entire Sports Justice crew, we'd like to send our warmest wishes to you and your family and wish you a happy and healthy holiday season.
The Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. Mistletoe hung where you can see every couple tries to stop. Rocking around the Christmas.
Hey guys, this is Rich Warnock from Sports Justice, and we just wanted to wish you and your family a very, very happy holiday season. And thank you guys so much for the continued support.
They're singing deck the halls, not like Christmas at all. I remember when you were here. He said,
Walk like a man, talk like a man, walk like a man, my son. No woman's worth crawling on the earth to walk like a man, my son.
Welcome back, Sports Justice Live, right here on Cyber FM Radio. You know where, not radio online.
You stealing Rich's bit?
Not online radio, but radio online. Give
By
us
the
a
way,
call.
did you ever even say Rich is not here? By the way, I'm sure people realize by now, but
Well,
He's
they
here, he's
realize
just
as
really
soon as I
quiet.
do the intro that Rich isn't here. Rich is on his way to the Poconos,
that's right.
so he's a little busy.
And we're
hasn't
seeing-
given us a call yet, so we'll assume he's really busy.
He's probably busy, and he's the one that gave us these tickets for tomorrow. And
He might not even be
he
coming.
might
Has
not
he
even
said
show
anything
up.
yet? We
I
sent him a
have
text earlier trying
no
to figure out what's
information.
going on.
He's trying to weasel his way into this game, I should say.
Unbelievable, this guy.
Yeah, we'll see. I would like him to go to the game.
Oh, I would love him to
I
go
feel
to the
bad
game.
kind of just taking his tickets.
I said that to him yesterday.
Box seats. He's kind of just giving it to us.
that's what
Free
I'm
box
saying.
seats where we're going to be indoors watching the Jets-Patriots. I
Doesn't
might
get
wear my
much
Chad
better than
Pennington
that.
jersey. I don't know yet. I'm either going Chad Pennington, Curtis Martin, or just a regular shirt.
I think I'm going Wilkerson.
Yeah? I don't know if I should wear the jersey or not. All right, let's get into the picks.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. All right, to start off our picks, we're going to start with the Saturday at 4:30 game or 4 o'clock. I don't even remember anymore.
4:30. We
4:30.
went over this.
Yeah.
It's Philly going to Washington to face the Skins.
Washington stinks. I think Mark Sanchez has a comeback game in this one after getting killed to Dallas, and he really looked bad.
330. 330 yards. 330.
I hope so. I have him in my fantasy championship. I'm starting Sanchez.
2 touchdowns and a rushing touchdown.
For Sanchez? You think so? Okay. Maybe a naked bootleg, something like that?
Paul, we're going to need you to holler out Rich's picks for this segment.
Yeah, okay. I could do that.
I'm going Philly.
Don't
too,
really holler them. You might, hurt someone's ears. Just,
I'll lower the levels if you're going to holler.
I won't. Yeah, he took the Eagles in this game, as I think most of us are.
I think we all did.
The problem is Washington has a very good run defense. It's the pass defense that stinks. It's ranked 28th, I think, in the last 5 weeks. So the answer is probably not so much McCoy and Darren Sproles, or maybe in the pass game
Probably
is,
still
but
McCoy and Sproles.
it's probably going to be Jeremy Maclin and Sanchez's favorite guy, Jordan Matthews, especially in the red zone.
With some Riley Cooper sprinkled on top.
Maybe a little bit of that also.
Oh, Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz also, yeah. So I think we all taking the Eagles. Do you want to guess the
I'm
spread?
taking the Eagles. Yeah, I'll guess the spread. I'm going to say
Game's in Washington.
Philly favored by 5.
8.
8. Wow.
Yeah. A little bit higher. It's you haven't done this in a while, considering you just gave up on our picks last week for some reason. Me and Billy made picks, and you and Rich were like, "No
I was
problem,
working.
we'll make the pick." I said to do it on Wednesday, and you guys, "No, we'll be fine." And
I
then
think they should
Saturday
be
comes.
penalized for it in our standings.
here we
If
go.
you guys agree, 516-858-5837
I kind of agree also.
and
Rich,
yell
would
at
you
them.
back me up here? All right. Anyway, let's move on to the next game. San Diego going to San Fran to face the Niners, and I'm going last here because I need to start making some different picks than you guys.
No, that's not fair. What does that mean? If you go last year, you go first in the next few ones.
All right, I'm going San Diego.
Okay, I don't know who to go with. They both aren't very good.
No, they're not. Not very good at all.
Rich is going Niners, so we can plug that in. So we already have at least a difference here. I don't know who to go with. I think they're both not good. Let me see what San Diego did last game. I don't even remember, considering we didn't get to talk about it because of you. Oh yeah, they lost to the Broncos 22-10. They're coming off of a win off
I think
Baltimore.
this
then
is
lost
hard
to
to
New
pick
England,
because
lost to
both
Denver.
teams are in need of a comeback.
And they're both well undeserving of, or underperforming, I should say. They're undeserving of me picking them also. But this is the 8:30 game, by the way, which I don't know if you said it or not yet. 8:30 tonight. 8:35.
25.
8:25, yeah.
Come on, get it right.
8:30 is how it goes. Which is a weird Saturday night game, like we said. I'll take the Niners. I don't know.
Before I make my pick, there's some good sports on tonight. There, we got some football. We got the Spurs,
some hockey.
The Spurs.
Who are the Spurs going against? Who would we say?
Okay, yeah, OKC, right? No.
I don't like how you just got very hard on yourself for that.
Grizzlies.
I don't know. I'll look it
Who
up.
were we talking about? We were talking about this team, and the Spurs are playing them.
Yeah, like I said, Spurs and Mavericks.
Spurs Mavs. There we go.
8:30. Not on TV. So it's going to be tough to watch that one unless you're like me and you have NBA Game Pass.
Why is that not on TV?
I don't know. It says it's on the FSSW.
Anyway, Billy.
Fox Sports Southwest.
Yeah, I have that channel, I think.
All right, well, enjoy it
Lucky
then.
for you. Make your pick.
think I gotta go San Diego.
Yeah. Really go against me.
I kind of want to take San Diego too, but I'm being a little different with this one. They both aren't good. It's just like I just can't imagine the Niners are going to lose every single game. Kaepernick's going to be terrible, but he's proved otherwise so far. So who knows?
Yeah. All right. So next we're going to move on to Johnny Football.
Oh,
and
did you want
Josh
to make the spread there?
No, I'm over.
Okay, San Francisco by 1. I'll just name the spreads. How's that?
Yeah, there we go.
I'll say it when we name the games.
Cleveland, Carolina.
By the way, we didn't even talk about it. Jaguars beat Titans. That's about as far as we have to say for that game on Thursday.
Yeah.
One of the worst games in Thursday night history, and that's pretty bad. All right.
No one cares
Still a team
about it.
down there in Jacksonville?
Apparently, and they got the win, too. All right, so what were we saying?
Cleveland, Carolina.
Spread here is Carolina -4. I'm taking Carolina in this game. Cam Newton's coming back. I just don't know what to do with Johnny Manziel.
I have no idea.
Carolina's actually I think their secondary is like top 5 in the last 5 weeks. So their secondary's been playing very well. I don't think that bodes well for Johnny Manziel.
Really?
And Cam Newton's probable.
I still have to take Cleveland. I think they're just the better team.
Carolina's going to win this division, Billy. They're going to win the NFC South, and you're not going to take them.
What did Rich do here?
With a whopping 5-8-1 record.
Well, let's ask what you're going to do here.
I'm going Carolina. I'm on the same page as you. Carolina's
Rich
gonna
is
win
with
that
the
division.
Browns.
Rich is with the Browns.
Yes, he is.
Rich
Well,
is
you
a
know I'm
Bra-
making all
Rich,
this up.
Rich is a very Cleveland guy.
We're giving Rich's fake
No,
picks.
he did take the Browns, and yeah, they are 7-7, but Johnny Manziel looks so bad, and I don't think it's going to look better. Cam Newton is probable, so he is playing in this game after that pretty bad car accident he had. So Derek Anderson ends his season 2-0 probably.
Good for him. Next, we're going to move on to Detroit at Chicago.
Oh, got to take Detroit in this one, and Rich is doing the same. Bears have been terrible. Jimmy Clausen, I told you he may light it up, well, at least run the offense well, but this Detroit defense is too good. So I'm going to have to go with the Lions, all because of the defense. Stafford hasn't been playing that great as of late either.
This spread's a trap game.
Yeah, I'd say so. Well, it could be. You never know with Jimmy Clausen. We really don't know.
That's why I'm saying trap game.
Do you want to say the spread? Sean, do you want to even take a guess on this one? It's tough.
No.
I have -9.5. What about you?
Yeah, Chicago plus 8.5. So
8.5,
basically
9.5,
same,
yeah. It's a lot of
points. What are you taking in this game?
I got to go Detroit still.
Yeah.
But
with the spread, you might take Chicago.
I'm taking Chicago either way.
Possibly.
You taking Chicago? You taking Jimmy Clausen?
I'm taking Jimmy C, baby.
He's either going down with the schedule or he's going straight back up.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to do. Big risk, big reward. Baltimore going to Houston to face the Texans.
We could slow down, by the way, a little bit.
Okay.
So what are we saying?
Baltimore now will be going into Houston to face the Texans.
I like that. It's very, very slow.
I don't like this spread at all.
What is the spread?
It should be much higher, right? Case Keenum is the starter for the Texans this
Lord.
week. Against Baltimore, I'm definitely taking Baltimore in this game, and so is Rich. I would love to take the Texans with J.J. Watt and all those guys, but the fact that Case Keenum is starting, between Case Keenum, who they just signed, I think, a week or two ago off the practice squad of like the Raiders or the Rams, one of those
Baltimore's
teams.
hot, too.
Yeah, and yeah, Joe Flacco's been playing well, but
He has all day to throw.
yeah, it's the fact that it was between Thad Lewis and Case Keenum, and they just made up their mind yesterday on who the starter is. Thad Lewis, I think it's only because Case Keenum has a little bit of familiarity with this offense from last year that he's starting, or else it was going to be Thad Lewis. And both these guys weren't even on the team a few weeks ago. They're both, I don't think Thad Lewis was, at least.
All true statements.
DeAndre Hopkins is a very good player. It's going to be a lot of Arian Foster, I feel like, which isn't a bad thing per se. But I think Baltimore just is a much better team.
Yeah, I'm taking
here.
Baltimore too.
I think Baltimore should be like an 8 or 9 point favorite, even on the road in this game, especially with Case Keenum.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Baltimore secondary is bad, but the fact that
Case Keenum throwing the ball.
Yeah, who knows what he's going to do. The guy was lost after like a game or two last
Billy, you
year.
going Baltimore too?
I think I have to.
Yeah, I agree. Case Keenum, you can't take Case Keenum in this game. It's like taking Johnny Manziel right now.
All right, the next matchup we have here is Minnesota's going to Miami to face the Dolphins. I'm going the Vikings.
It's a tough one, yeah.
I like this matchup for the Vikings. You know, they have some very good cornerbacks. They're very good in the pass and the run game. Their defense has looked very good this year. And I feel like with enough timely offense, they could take down the Dolphins, even in Miami.
Yeah, Rich is taking the Dolphins. Let's start with that. Minnesota doesn't have a good run defense, so Lamar Miller might be a nice
fantasy start.
Yeah, and he might have a nice game in this one too, which they use him so wrong. It's probably why Joe Philbin's on his way out also. He gets 15 carries a game and puts up big numbers. He's averaging like 4.5, 5 yards a carry, but they don't give him the ball. For whatever reason, they just don't give him the ball. And for fantasy purposes, if he was getting the ball 20 to 25 times, he'd be a running back 1, but instead he's a running back 2 because they limit his touches for whatever reason there is. And actually, Mike Wallace has been playing well the last few weeks with Jarvis Landry. I think it's a close game. I'm taking Miami to win, though. I like Teddy Bridgewater in this game. I like Charles Johnson. Jerick McKinnon's out for the year, though, so Matt Asiata is the starter.
Yeah.
That kind of hurts a little bit. Miami has a very good run defense. It's been worse as of late, but you also can't throw on them. They have a pretty good secondary.
Billy, what are you going with here?
I'm also going to Dolphins.
This is good. If I get some right here, I mean,
you'll still be 8 games back.
I'm right in the thick of it if I start getting some of these picks right.
And you really should have a penalty for last week.
Yeah, you really should. We'll discuss that later.
Enough of this penalty stuff.
You can say that for now, but by the time Rich gets here, we're going to have a nice, stern conversation.
All right, we're about a quarter of the way through everything here, so we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll finish breaking down the games right here on Sports Justice.
What's going on, guys? This is Rich Warnock, and I'm one of the co-hosts here at Sports Justice. Listen, we all know that Monday mornings at the office are the worst, but I promise that if you tune into Sports Justice at 10 a.m. on Cyber FM radio, we can kickstart your morning better than that huge cup of coffee you probably desire to get going. We here at Sports Justice don't just have you covered in the morning, but also for that mind-numbing rush hour drive home on Wednesdays at 5. And don't forget our NFL preview show on Saturday afternoons at 11 a.m. Not in front of a computer? No problem at all. Be sure to download the Cyber FM radio app to listen to Sports Justice on the go. So just to recap, that's Monday mornings at 10 a.m., Wednesday afternoons at 5 p.m., and Saturday afternoons at 11 a.m. It's Sports Justice.
How you doing, guys? This is Paul Bonanno from Sports Justice. We love talking about sports, but what we love more is hearing from you guys. We talk about anything you guys want to talk about, and we love helping you bring home a fantasy football championship. We understand the struggle in picking out those starting lineups, and we provide the best advice you could find in a timely manner. So don't forget to get on the horn and join the debate. Give us a call at 516-858-5837. That's 516-858-5837.
Welcome back to Sports Justice live on Cyber FM radio, not online radio, but radio online. Give us a call, 516-858-5837.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Give us your pitch of why last week shouldn't count and why me and Billy should be penalized for making our picks on time and you guys not.
I was working. Where were you?
I made my pick. Wrote my picks the night before.
I was also working.
Where was I? We already went into where I was. Okay.
You decided to go out to lunch. We decided to work. It's okay.
Yeah.
Still got
it all evens out
before 1 o'clock.
Yeah, and I still got all my picks in anyway. You could have done anything. You could have done literally at 5 in the morning when you woke up. You could have done. There's no.
And
excuse.
they just completely ignored our picks. Like we texted.
Yeah, I was literally there when you texted it.
You guys were texting other stuff. But not your
picks.
picks.
Texting other stuff. I wasn't. Rich had my phone.
So your pitch is that you couldn't do it. What? Why couldn't you do it the day before? Why couldn't you do it Wednesday? Why couldn't you do it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
I was tied up in other things.
That's your pitch. This is why you should be penalized because you can't even give a good reason.
You were just standing around at Steiner.
Me and Billy found a way.
I was not just standing around. I was working. Rich was just standing around. So you can blame Rich.
Both of you could have picked up your phone for one
Thursday.
second.
Rich had my phone.
I was with you on one of these days. Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Any of those days you could have made your picks. I know before work,
Sunday,
that hour before work, you can easily make your picks.
Sunday, him and Rich were together.
Yeah.
At Steiner.
And they easily could have made picks.
we were working.
Yeah.
And the fact that when you saw our picks, Rich just did his in 2 seconds. He sent me his. You could have looked at our games and just been like, yeah, I'll take him, and half of them are easy ones anyway. I think you should be penalized also. We'll figure out a way. Maybe we'll give you like 3 wins out of the week. Something like that.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see.
I think the favorite vote is that you should be penalized because Rich can't give a good reason.
It should be an offer. But
I think it's going to be two versus 2 here in this penalizing thing.
I don't know because 2 versus 2 isn't because
a draw.
I feel like Rich would own up to his mistakes.
And that's why we didn't do it. Like you didn't have a good excuse.
Rich doesn't own up to his mistakes. You're talking about a guy who shows up an hour late and makes up a million excuses for why he's late.
He does, but then later on he'll be like, "You got me." Didn't we say something? We said that last time. We're like, he's using the he's in traffic excuse. And then Rich is like, that's usually mine or something like that.
Who said that, though?
I don't remember.
Anyway, let's move on. Atlanta's going to New Orleans to face the Saints.
Yeah, I am taking the Saints in this game. They haven't been the same at home, but I'm still 6.5-point favorites for New Orleans. They've at least showed glimpses of being a good team, and Atlanta, not really. And I can't really go with Atlanta. I mean, their secondary stinks. Both secondaries stink.
Did Rich go with New Orleans here?
Oh, I didn't even look.
I'm
But
gonna guess he did.
the fact that Julio Jones is probably playing, they say it's a game-time decision, but it's looking like he's going to play. That helps out a little bit. But, yeah, I'm still taking the Saints in this one. Who's playing Saints versus Falcons? He took the Falcons.
Did he?
Yes, he did.
That's interesting because that's who I'm going to take, too.
Okay.
It's a terrible franchise.
I'm going with the Falcons solely because the Falcons
going with
don't
the Saints.
win outside, but they're playing indoors in New Orleans, and the New Orleans secondary is miserable.
So
and
is
I think
Atlanta's secondary.
I know, but I just
They're the
think
same
that,
team.
Yeah, they are the same team. I'm taking Atlanta in this one, though. New Orleans won the first time around. Atlanta's going to win this time.
Let me just go. Let's go into the standings right here, because what happens if Atlanta wins this game?
Imagine.
New
if
Orleans
Atlanta
is in
and
first.
say Atlanta and Carolina wins.
Carolina will be in first place then. Carolina's only because they're half game back. Carolina because they have that tie.
That
so if
tie
New Orleans
screws
loses
everything
and
up.
Carolina wins, Atlanta will be 6-9. Carolina will be 6-8-1, and New Orleans would be 6-9. So Carolina would be the favorite to win. Then that's why it's such a big game. Why Cam Newton wants to play so badly.
That makes sense.
So the NFC South is still up in the air on whatever garbage team is going to win.
Anyone's division.
All right, so keep going. What'd you say you're taking Atlanta, Billy? Did you?
Billy said New Orleans.
Billy hates New Orleans too.
No, Billy hates
Atlanta.
I hate
Right.
the Falcons.
We have a clean split here, right down the middle.
A clean split, which is the exact opposite.
I want
but,
Rich's first for this one, because I'm very curious what he's doing here. New England versus the Jets.
What do you think he's doing?
I guess spread.
Probably not pretty. I'm taking the Jets. The Jets are going to ruin New England's home field advantage.
He took the Patriots. I am taking the Patriots also. This is the first time I heard this on Michael K yesterday. The first time in Jets franchise history they're double-digit underdogs at home.
Wow.
I thought it was a little bit surprising. I would have said a million times we've been double-digit.
Should have let him guess before you say it.
No, it doesn't matter.
I wasn't guessing. It wasn't pretty. Are you taking the Jets or are you taking New England?
I'm taking the Patriots.
This is good. I can have a really
I said
big
this
week
too.
here.
Well, we're all going to be rooting for the Jets, obviously, but New England is also, looking for that home field advantage, like we've been saying, and it could be huge because Denver might be winning.
They only
their
hold
game.
it by a game, right?
I think so, and this is a chance for the Jets to do this. But the Jets play the Patriots well. Like I was saying this yesterday,
They
where
almost beat them last time they played them.
right, they played a perfect game, and we actually had a chance to win it, and we still lost.
We lost by a blocked field goal at the end.
We ran the ball for like 200 yards, kept Tom Brady out of the end zone for most of it, and we're efficient throwing the ball. Actually, no, this is the ball where we didn't throw it at all, right?
No, we did throw it. Gino threw it.
Did he?
Yeah.
I thought this.
Against the Pats?
Yeah.
Gino threw it.
That was the Dolphins I'm talking about. Yes.
Yes.
We're in this game, and they still had a chance to win, and then the field goal got blocked at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So they always play the Patriots well, and actually Rex always has a good game plan. And Westhoff, I said, was on the radio yesterday. He said he talked to Rex 2 days ago for like an hour and a half, and he said he loves the game plan that the Jets have for the Patriots, and he thinks it'll be work to get the win. I think it's just a tall task still.
100%.
I think Gronk is going to go absolutely off in
Shouldn't
this
you think
game.
about every game plan you make?
Yeah, but I think at New England we have a lot of familiarity with. We know them very well. He knows Brady. He actually has a lot of success with Brady also. So I think all that helps. It's the fact that Tom Brady is definitely he kind of smells blood in the water, and I think he's going to go for the kill here. I'm taking the Patriots by 10 at least. So you're the only one on the Jets, huh?
Yep.
Sounds about right. Okay.
Sounds about right. All right, next, Kansas City's going to Pittsburgh. This is a tough one.
Tricky.
All right, we'll go with Rich first. What is it, Kansas City, Pittsburgh?
Yes, sir.
He is taking the Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
Yes, he is.
Which means I have decided I'm taking the Steelers.
Oh, wow. So you're going against Rich here. I don't know what I want to do. I'm going Kansas City.
Are you? I'm taking Pittsburgh.
Gotta go with the home team in this one.
I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a very tough one. Pittsburgh's been up and down this year.
They have been, but Kansas City isn't good at stopping the run. And you know who is good at running?
Who?
Le'Veon Bell.
I figured as much. So is Jamal Charles.
Yeah, but I just said Kansas City's not good at stopping the run.
It's okay. Pittsburgh's defense has looked pretty bad to itself.
Troy Polamalu's also not playing in this game, so Travis Kelce should have a pretty nice day against that team, against that secondary especially. So I would, I don't know. Who'd you say you're taking? You're taking Kansas City?
Yeah.
You just go with everyone Rich does.
It's
You're not
a
going to
good
gain any
home
again
team
on
versus
Rich.
not so good of a road team.
Yeah. 4-2 at home for the Steelers and 3-4 for the Chiefs away. Pittsburgh's 3-point favorites in this one. I just think, with Antonio Brown, you can't stop him, and Le'Veon Bell, who's been unbelievable. I think, was it 3 straight weeks with 200 yards from scrimmage?
Something like that.
Which only Walter Payton has done. He's going for that 4th game in a row. I also need him, especially for my fantasy championship. But that's besides the point, of course. I am taking the Steelers still.
All right, so the next game would be Green Bay versus Tampa Bay.
Wow. Yeah.
Hard one.
Hey, Green Bay is coming off that loss. Tough loss against Buffalo in this game.
Really? I thought you were taking Tampa here, no?
No, that was a joke.
Rich is taking the Packers, by the way. I'm taking the Packers also. I think it's going to be a nice little comeback game for Aaron Rodgers, and I believe this game is in Tampa, so it's going to be beautiful weather. Green Bay is 12.5-point favorite. Maybe a little bit much. It could be because they know
the spread.
Rodgers is going to be pissed coming off that loss last game where he couldn't do anything. They're just going to go all over this defense. But I think he has historically he doesn't play that well against Tampa Bay also. But I'm still taking Green Bay in this game. 10-4. They need that. They want that home field advantage. They need a win here.
All right, we have a couple of games left. We're going to step aside real quick, and when we get back, we'll get to the rest of them right here on Sports Justice.
How you doing, guys? This is Paul Bonanno from Sports Justice. We love talking about sports, but what we love more is hearing from you guys. We talk about anything you guys want to talk about, and we love helping you bring home a fantasy football championship. We understand the struggle in picking out those starting lineups, and we provide the best advice you could find in a timely manner. So don't forget to get on the horn and join the debate. Give us a call at 516-858-5837. That's 516-858-5837.
Hey guys, this is Rich Warnock from Sports Justice, and we just wanted to wish you and your family a very, very happy holiday season, and thank you guys so much for the continued support.
They're singing deck the halls, not like Christmas at all. I remember when you...
Hey guys, this is Paul from Sports Justice. From the entire Sports Justice crew, we'd like to send our warmest wishes to you and your family and wish you a happy and healthy holiday season.
The Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. Mistletoe hung where you can see every couple tries to stop. Rocking around the Christmas tree.
One shot, everything rides on tonight. Even if I've got 3 strikes, I'ma go for it. This moment, we own it. And I'm not to be played with because it can get dangerous. See these people I ride with. This moment, we own it.
Welcome back to Sports Justice live on Cyber FM Radio, not online radio, but radio online. Give us a call, 516-858-5837. We're going to continue on with our picks, but call us up and let us know what you think of our picks, who you think's going to win this week's games, what you think of baseball, basketball, hockey, anything that's going on you want to talk about, you let us know.
Not soccer or hockey. Okay, go ahead.
The next game we're going to talk about is the Giants going to St. Louis to face the Rams.
Tough one. I know you're going with the Rams.
The Giants are going to get rammed.
I already know you're going to take the Rams because you want to be different, and I may take them. Rams actually have a better record than the Giants.
I think the Rams are more complete of a team than the Giants.
Except for quarterback. And receiver. I'm taking Odell Beckham and the Giants.
You're just taking him because you got a selfie with him.
It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt the pick. I like the Rams in this game. I just think that the Giants, this is a game that they're going to win.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I think that the Rams are getting a little overhyped for the wins that they have. Because we've been saying that they're not good a team, and then all of a sudden they beat the Patriots, the Seahawks, and those teams, and then now they're a good team. Not the Patriots, the Broncos and the Seahawks. So I'm taking Giants. You guys want to make any?
I'm taking the Rams.
I'm taking the Rams also.
And should we see what Rich is doing? What do you guys think?
I'm going to say Rich is taking the Giants.
He's taking the Rams.
He's taking the Giants.
Oh.
Billy, it was nice competing with you there.
Billy, who'd you take in this game?
Take the Rams.
Oh, a nice clean split, as Sean would say.
A clean split.
I think Odell Beckham is just going to be going off again in this game.
I think Trey Mason's going to have a huge day.
Rashad Jennings isn't playing in this game, I think, either, so it's Andre Williams in this one.
All right, some fun facts to know right there. Let's see how Andre Williams does. Now you know he's useless in the passing game.
I'll just be the injury report guy. Okay.
The injury report. All right, so next we're going to go on to Indy versus Dallas.
A very good game. Probably the best game of the week besides Kansas City and
Pittsburgh.
Thank you. I want to see who Rich is taking. Who do you think he's taking?
I'm saying he's taking Indy because he hates Dallas.
He is definitely taking Indy because he hates Dallas.
I'm taking Dallas.
Oh, I thought you were going to choose last. I don't know who I want to take in this one.
No, I'm going Dallas.
Oh, okay.
Is DeMarco playing?
He is, but nobody knows how much he's going to play.
I'm taking Dallas.
He's walking around right now with a huge cast on his hand, and they're saying they might just be building up that he said he's playing, and they said it's up to him if he's going to play. And apparently he has a very high pain tolerance. That's like the word going around. So they said if it's up to him, he's 100% going to play. It's just a matter of, is he going to get 20-plus touches, or is he going to get like 15 touches, and Joseph Randle's going to come in for passing downs? I don't know.
I'm taking Dallas.
Yeah, I think I'm taking. I don't know. They're both 10-4.
It's a tough game. Tough pick.
It's because Indy, they should be so much better. I think they are. They are 10-4, but Andrew Luck, he just keeps turning the ball over. They're gonna have Vontae Davis on Des Bryant also, which is
he's the most aggressive player in the entire NFL.
He's talking about Des Bryant or
No,
Vontae Davis?
Andrew Luck.
Oh yeah, I know. I don't know what it is. He's just always throwing the ball. It doesn't matter.
He'll
a lot of
chuck
times
it.
he just disregards a lot of defenders out
You
there.
won't see him throw it out of bounds. He'll just chuck it.
Yeah.
He kind of has that Brett Favre gunslinger mentality.
Billy, what are you doing? You're going Indy. You always go Indy.
I really want to go Indy. And it's December 21st this game will be played on, and they have Tony Romo on the roster.
Tony Romo is like top 5 in QBR, I think. In
Big
December.
red flag, though. Late December.
Yeah.
Tony Romo.
I'm taking Tony.
Man. I got to go with my boy Andrew Luck. I'm sorry.
Spread is 3.5 for Dallas. They're the favorites.
Come on, Paul. You can't not let this be a split.
Ooh, I want to go Dallas. I think I'm going to go. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be like a one-score game at the end of the game. This is a really good game.
There's one other big game that I'm excited for, too.
Is that the next one we're talking about?
No, I think he's
Two
talking
more.
about the last one.
Yeah.
I'm not that excited.
Boy. Oh, boy. You know what?
You know what? What? Tell us.
I don't know. That's why. I'll go Dallas.
There it is. We got a split. Clean split.
Wow.
Next game is not as interesting and isn't going to be that tough to pick.
Bills Raiders.
Yes.
Yeah.
Buffalo.
Let's see.
I'm going Buffalo. Billy said he's going Buffalo. If I heard
Rich is going Buffalo. And
Paul's going Buffalo,
Paul's
too.
going Buffalo also, even though the Raiders could win this game.
What a drag of a pick.
Buffalo's a 7-point favorite. I think that's a little much.
I do, too. I would agree with that.
I always think about taking Oakland in this game, honestly.
Do it then.
No.
No, I'll pass.
I just don't think the Bills are very good. And C.J. Spiller's coming back in this one, too, by the way. He's just not going to play that much, probably. Fred Jackson's going to be a big Fred Jackson game. I think C.J. Spiller's just going to come in for breathers.
Here and there on passing downs.
Yeah. And then the night game, which should be a good game, or should have been a good game, but who knows. You want to talk about it? No. Okay. Cardinals-Seahawks
Billy's
is the game.
excited for this game. I'm not really that excited for
Cardinals-Seahawks, Seattle's a 9-point favorite.
3 weeks ago, I was excited for this game. Now I'm not really excited.
Besides the fact that Ryan Lindley is the quarterback.
Is he even starting?
I think he is the starter.
Okay.
I don't know who else would be the starter. Stanton's down. Palmer's down. I think they had said if Lindley got hurt, I think the fullback would be the next.
So they have that guy Logan Thomas, I believe his name is.
Yeah, the rookie. I don't think he was active last week though.
Yeah, I think it's Ryan Lindley because he's made starts before.
Good for him.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I don't know.
I'm going Seattle.
Yeah, I think I'm going Seattle. Also, Arizona always finds a way to win games. But Ryan Lindley
definitely going to make it
Seattle.
exciting.
Billy's taking Arizona. Just
it's
saying,
Ryan
Billy.
Lindley against this ravenous Seahawks defense who doesn't give up anything. And you know what I heard also? I forgot about this. This is a crazy stat that I always forget to bring up. Seattle, like the last 8 times they played somebody, whoever they beat has lost the following week. 8 straight weeks. So they not only beat you, they beat you up. And you don't win the next game. I want to see who Seattle played last week because I want to see. That team's probably going to lose. San Francisco.
Oh, good thing I picked against him.
I didn't.
I didn't.
I forgot about that stat, though. It's like 8 straight weeks where whoever they beat has lost the following week.
Would you like to change your pick?
Who's San Fernando playing?
San Diego.
Yeah, I do.
All right, we'll change your pick. we'll accept that. We'll
San
leave
Diego.
Rich. Rich doesn't get that option though.
Okay, and I am definitely taking Seattle in this game, and it's not looking good for Arizona because they're going to lose this week and next week.
Yeah.
I heard Drew Stanton might come back next week though. It was only a sprained knee. He might come back. Not that that's that great. Yeah.
What's so much better?
He's
about
better
Drew
than Ryan
Stanton?
Lindley.
Not by much.
He is better than Ryan Lindley. Ryan Lindley's not good at all. Somehow Arizona always finds a way to win, though. It's just crazy how they always win. I'm still taking Seattle, though. This is just too much to overcome.
I think it's going to be a defensive game, but I still have to take Seattle. I want to watch it, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's the night game, so I won't be able to watch it as usual because I never got to watch Sunday night games.
It's all right. I won't be watching it either.
I know.
It's a shame.
It's a little upsetting, but Richard Sherman has 6 interceptions in his last 6 meetings against the Cardinals, and Ryan Lindley's going to be throwing it. So I think that's going to be 7-7 games.
But I feel like Lindley's balls are so bad they're not even pickable.
It very well could be, but we'll have to see. I just think that Seattle's defense is playing at the top right now, top of their game right now. So I'm definitely going with them anyway. I think it's going to be a double-digit win for them.
I'm sorry, I saw a brawl on TV here that caught my attention. But that's going to do it all the time we have for today on Cyber FM Radio, not online radio, but radio online. We want to thank you for spending 2 hours with us today. And we want to remind you to tune in on Monday for another 2 hours. Check our YouTube, Sports Justice. As Billy said, our show will be up there with links so you could check out specific segments of the show. Check out our Twitter at sports_justice, our Facebook Sports Justice, our Instagram Sports Justice, and our website sports.justice.radio.com. That's going to do it for today. For Sports Justice, I'm Sean Snyder.
I'm Billy Pop Manuel.
And I'm Paul Bonanno. Enjoy the games later.
If you want it, you can get it.